Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Bridge echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shedding crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Bridge echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew. Born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue, through the silence and the roar. Still blue, even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shed and crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew. Born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome for another edition of our match reaction show, post-game show, match review show, whatever you want to call it. But today It's a happy day, a good day to be a Chelsea fan. Excellent performance with a depleted team. We beat the reigning champion, the Premier League's reigning champion, all 3 points, convincing win. Could have scored a lot more, but we weren't lucky on the day. But a deserved winner after all, irrespective of how you see it. So if you are in the comment section, a live chat session, so to speak, or if you're just joining us, I want to know how you're feeling about this win, your observations. Get into it. Listen, this was a game that only a few people gave us a chance. Some were just again hanging into hope, given their belief in the manager. Even though we were missing a lot of our starting players, we barely had enough players to complete our back line. But boy, it was a good performance. Took it to Liverpool, uppercut for uppercut. We did really, really well and could have scored a lot more, but I'll take the win. 2-1, not a bad win. And the way the winner happened by Estevao, they call him Steve these days, the winner was just brilliant. The manager had a good game plan. The injuries, or you could say, to the players, and Josh Archibald, who was, by the way, surprised me. He was excellent on the day. Benoit Badiashile was excellent on the day, even though we had to continue the game without two of the players that defended very well for us. We still did good. A bit shaky after those two went off, but as the game progressed, the players came into their own, and you can say finished the game very, very well. And I am happy. You see the importance of versatility in players. Reece James is slotted seamlessly, although shaky a bit when he moved to the central area, but gradually, yeah, he did good. Maybe because we controlled the game, given the presence, the inclusion, the introduction of Romeo Lavia. But what a game that was! Once again, it was a game that only a few people gave us a chance. And I did tell people, some people in the morning that were saying we're getting slapped. That was the exact language the person used. Now Liverpool will slap us, so that he's nervous. And I told him, okay, that's when I usually when people don't rate us, don't give us a chance. That's usually when we pull up surprises. And today we didn't just win; it wasn't just luck. We deserved to win. Created a lot of good chances, and boy, Moses Caicedo go something special. He doesn't score too many, but whenever he scores, it almost always guaranteed to be a banger. What a goal that was! So nobody has joined me yet, so I'm gonna be going on with the conversation alone. But if you've joined, if you have time, I want to get your opinion, your thoughts on the game, how well we did. I think we were brilliant on the day. My opinion. Give me a second. Let me take care of something here. Okay. Yeah. Um, so I wanted to quickly look at how many people that gave us a chance. Estevao, let me move this here. Probably the most important, one of the most important hashtags right now. Let's see if that changes anything for us. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Currently, we have 4 likes. I know we can do a lot better than that. 15 of you following the show on YouTube. Please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video. And also, do subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. We're getting closer and closer to 29,000 subscribers right now. We're at 28,188 subscribers. Yes, we can do a lot better than just 4 likes. So I implore you, please, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the video. So let me see if I see the poll. I did look at it in the morning. Uh, uh, Maybe they take it off. They usually take it off before the game starts. I'm not sure, but I think only 29% of those that took part in the poll gave us a chance to win. Liverpool had around 49 plus, and then around 16% went for a draw. But from the start to the end, you could argue we dominated. I need to watch it again, but it was an excellent performance by the team. Even when we had two of our starting at centre backs on the day go off, we were still pushing for a win. Garnacho, excellent today. Gittins showed what he's capable of doing. I think a lot of people will see him today and realize, yeah, there's a good player in there. I've always known there's a good player in there. And as I've told people, Had it not been the fact that we have a lot of people out injured, I think the manager would take time to ease him in, and not, you could say, throw him into the deep end at the start of his Chelsea career, even though he didn't have a preseason with us, which is a huge factor that I haven't heard a lot of Chelsea fans talk about. But I'm happy, and I know he's a good player. We didn't just sign him for the sake of signing him. We signed him because he was one of the best in Europe, as young as he is. But that's, by the way, before the game started, I did look at the numbers. That's something I do. Though we didn't do a match preview show, but we did a pregame show and didn't talk about much during the pregame show because we didn't start earlier. And I'm back fully fit. The biggest lesson I've learned is that whenever I feel sick, I get the cold. I need to take some time off, rest, and get healed properly before coming back. But let's see now. Before this game, I don't know if this counts the goals we scored in this game, but I think we can learn something from that. It says Chelsea have scored 6 goals in their last 5 games, probably before this game, I'm guessing. Liverpool have scored 8, so they scored a lot more than us in their last 5 games. Chelsea and Liverpool have not drawn any of their last 4 matches against each other, but we won this one, and I'm happy we did. I was concerned to a certain measure that Charity FC, before this game, was well and truly in existence. Whether it be right to say, yeah, definitely, you can say we've found a way to deal with Charity FC that is no longer a concerning factor for us. I don't think it makes sense to say that because, yeah, for just a single game, Liverpool ranked a third away from home this season. So they've been doing well away, but that changed against us. And the home fans that were excellent today, honestly, I credit to them. They did very well. When it was 1-1, they kept urging the team. They were as loud as possible. And you could argue they were the 12th man, as they should be. They weren't moaning, groaning, or booing the players. They were supporting the players. Even when the manager made changes, they kept supporting those that were introduced. And you could argue you don't take that for granted. The fans were excellent today, and I applaud them. They haven't kept a clean sheet in 5 matches. That's something to pay attention to. Jão Pedro has created the most big chances for Chelsea 3. Whenever I read this aspect of the whole thing, says created the most, I want to see something like 10, 12, usually 3, 2, but yeah, he's created the most technically correct. Let's keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes that do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Seen a comment there by Godfrey Murigi, said hi to you too, Godfrey. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing your comment there on the main screen there. Maybe X. Did that be X? I'm not sure why I'm not seeing your comment here. I did leave a comment myself, and I'm able to see it. I hope the system isn't acting up as usual. So the players were all excellent. Josh Archibald did very well. The last time did he start off? He was introduced. He looked shaky. And I was concerned with regards to his fitness today. But boy, he was good until I'm not sure what happened. But I think somebody on X posted that Willie Caballero. How do you say his name again? But Willie, former Manchester City goalkeeper, and also former goalkeeper too. Under Mauricio Sarri, they say they were taking off just a precaution, not anything serious, and I'm happy that was the case. And Temi Dayo, Oluwa, nice to see you. Bon, I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. We have 24 people following the show, and you're doing. We have just 5 likes. We should be doing a lot better than just 5 likes. Please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So he says, up the Chelsea indeed. We remain the giant slayers. I'd rather we win. We win the mid-table games about the games against mid-table teams and bottom-table teams. These days, it doesn't look like one can win the league by just beating the top 6 teams. I think, how things have changed over time. But that's, by the way, Moses Caicedo, he was brilliant today. My goodness, so an intelligent, played intelligently, asserted himself properly, wasn't bullied. The case was actually the opposite. He bullied the Liverpool midfielders, was everywhere, covering for all inexperienced defensive line, always there, putting in last ditch tackles and all that. He was just brilliant today. I think people will look at his numbers. But I want to get your thoughts, your observations from the game. What do you think? For me, a brilliant performance, a deserved win for us. No complaint. It, it was just that sort of game. Had it ended in a draw, I'd still be happy. But I'm happy we won. I'd be disappointed, but at the same time, I'd still be happy knowing that we did everything. Garnacho hit the woodwork. Even Enzo Fernández did hit the woodwork too. So we could have scored a lot more. We didn't create as much as we usually create, but you could argue. I don't. It wouldn't be correct to say that we were clinical, but we were near clinical if anything like that exists. A perfect performance overall. But boy, Enzo Fernandez, yeah, didn't get a goal today, but my goodness, but he had a hand in the second goal. He turned it up to a maximum notch today. He was that good. Defended defensively, offensively, controlling the game. Maybe we should always deploy him on the left hand side, on his left hand pocket area. He was excellent. And Olua Rokemi Tomida said, my oh my, what a player in there, Caicedo. Wonder why they keep underrating him. I don't listen. We Chelsea fans know he's one of the, you can say, the best in the world right now. We don't need confirmation from opposition fans. He was brilliant in terms of marshalling the midfield, uh, brilliant in terms of shielding our defensive line, brilliant in terms of covering for our inexperienced defenders. He was everywhere. He didn't look like, you could say, our players overall, the entire 11 didn't look like they were going to lose. They were ready to lose this game today, and maybe was the you could say what's the language I'm looking for? The hungover from the Club World Cup is starting to wear off. So we're starting to see our real 11 perform. Even though we were that was a depleted Chelsea team. In all honesty, that was a depleted Chelsea team, and look how well we did. And somebody was in the chat during the pregame show, telling telling those that were part of the conversation that without Cole Palmer we're doomed. And I was telling him, look, with Cole Palmer we'd be way better, but without him we're still good because Maresca has succeeded in building a unit. We're no longer a one man's team. And I did mention how well we did in the Club World Cup, even those games that Cole Palmer went at his best. We got to the final, not because he was part of the squad, but yeah, he did contribute. But yeah, he was basically missing. But until the final, that was when he was at his best. So we have a unit now. Under Mauricio Pochettino, you could argue at the time we had a group of players that weren't the team, a lot of individual players, which was why Cole Palmer had an outstanding season at the time because yeah, we had a lot of hero moments that he took advantage of. Credit to him for doing that. He was brilliant for us that window, but we have a unit now. We're more of a unit than we were at the time. Then even in his absence, we still be doing well. So let's hear your thoughts on the overall performance of the players. What stood out for you? I want to hear your thoughts. Why is Estevao always brought in as a letter substitute? The kid is very good. Here's the thing. We're speaking in hindsight right now. And let's be honest, the chances that had he started, he wouldn't have been as impactful as he were. Yeah, he wouldn't have been as impactful as he was. So the manager played it very well. We had a very, you could say, you could argue the inclusion of Josh Achampong in that defensive line means that the experience measure maybe of our defensive line reduces significantly, and it's important to find a way to mitigate that, or maybe to not camouflage, maybe conduce that, maybe, or reduce that issue, which was why the manager started Reece James in the midfield area, pairing him with Moises Caicedo as the 2 6s, ensuring we have a defensively strong midfielders there to shield our defensive line properly. That helped a lot. And I can assure you, had he gone with just Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernández, we still play well, but our defensive line will be exposed a lot. So that was you could say, a tactical masterclass by Enzo Maresca for fielding Reece James in the midfield area, and also pairing him with Moises Caicedo, ensuring that our defensive line was shielded or screened up very, very well, and they were excellent at doing that. So within Liverpool, when able to get to our defensive line persistently, which could have led, you could argue, which in my opinion could have led to us panicking and making silly mistakes. But they weren't able to do that. So excellent to Enzo Maresca, and I was able to read that probably was the reason why he did that, in my opinion. Still cannot believe, still cannot unravel the mystery behind our shyness around mid-table teams. You could argue it's a mentality. Would it be right to say mentality thing? The inexperience, again, in our players are showing. Maybe I could be wrong. Not taking those games as seriously as they take the games against big, you could say, the top 6 teams. But there's also another way to see it, because they defend deep. When teams play like that, almost always an issue. But you could argue we're well equipped to deal with such teams. Again, given the makeup of our squad. So I'm not too concerned about mid-table teams this season. I think we'll get there. My biggest concern has always been, you can say, the hangover from the Club World Cup. That is a serious factor that a lot of people refuse to admit is a problem. But it looks like it's wearing off gradually. Chelsea King, 879, nice to see you out. I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular evening. We have 24 people following the show on YouTube. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So this reads, big up. I was wondering if the news that Josh and Badiashile are not serious. Somebody said, according to Willie Caballero. How do you pronounce his last name? Nothing serious. It was just a precaution. Not serious injured. Is it true? Because I heard someone say assistant manager said they were okay. Yep. Yeah. Let's believe so. But that's, by the way, I have my bro in Tony Sewell in the house. Tony, it looks like he has a poor connection. Just gone out as the moment I wanted to call upon him to speak. Yeah, give us his observation. Tell us about his observations from the game. But that's, by the way. So right now we're currently in 6th place. Yep, 11 points, and Crystal Palace have 12 points. We lost 2. They lost. They haven't. They're the only team in the league that haven't lost a single game. That's actually reflects how strong of a team they are. They've been like that since they had Oliver Glasner. Is that his last name? And people were surprised why we drew against them. They actually did beat Liverpool in the Community Shield Cup, beat Manchester City and Manchester City in the FA Cup final. And look, these actually just look. Even after losing the Berechi Eze, they still haven't lost a game. They played 6, won 3, drew 3, and lost none. That's to show you how good they are. Tamida here says, you're the Coachila for a reason, boss. Your logic is on point. I believe the midfield of James and Caicedo was a shield. Yep, that's, for me, in my opinion, one of the main reasons why the manager decided to pair that two. James might not be the quickest, but he reads the game very well. An excellent player overall. I believe the midfield of James and Caicedo was a shield before and around the defense. Yep, they were. And we have Khalid. Big up Khalid. You can share the link to your podcast so people can go check it out and subscribe. No more Chalo. I'm not gonna get into that debate with you. I listen. He's improved, but I don't think it makes sense to start blaming him for those games where you said two occasions. One was when he went for a header, mistimed it, which led to which you could argue had Robert Sanchez had he come off his line on that day, you could argue we wouldn't be discussing the loss against Manchester United. The other one, I blame Andreas Santos. I'm not saying he's perfect. I know we can do much better than Trevor Chalobah, but yeah, I get it. I'm not here to fight you, but whenever you can share the link, I haven't created a command. Usually, what I do for my friends is I create a command. When I see them, I trigger the command so that people can go check out their YouTube channel or podcast. But I'll find time to create one for you, so that whenever you're here, I'll just trigger the command. Let me see. He says 4 occasions Bayern's own the Bayern own goal. Benjamin Seska's header. Okay, Lincoln goal. Red card for Brighton. Yeah, but these things happen. I don't want to start blaming him. Honestly, he's done well, and I give him credit for that. and that and that was all in 10 days. Give him a break, man. All right, 8 likes. We can do a lot better than that, people. 33 people following the show on YouTube, and we're still stuck on 8 likes. So looks like I'm gonna quickly create the command since he shared the link to the podcast. All right. Here's the link there, people. Go check it out. Subscribe. Always delicious content there. I want to go on there. I remember, I think the last time I was on your podcast, we did talk about Badishile, and I did tell you guys that he's a very, very good player, and I don't believe that the club would look to sell him. I think I did say something to that effect. He just needs to stay fit. But I'm happy to hear that he was taken off, but nothing serious. That it was just a precautionary measure. That makes me happy. So go check it out. Please click through the link if you haven't. It's highlighted on the screen. Go follow the Blue Co podcast. Be sure to subscribe so that we can help them grow. Excellent discussion always, and I can't wait for the new one. Let's see. Hi to you too, Isiaka Usmani. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. 8 likes. We can do a lot better than that. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're getting closer and closer to 29,000 subscribers. We're 28,191. We haven't streamed in a while because man wasn't feeling well. But yeah, I started feeling better yesterday, which was why we did a pre-game show. Excuse me. So yeah, I still do cough every now and then. So whenever I can, I want to do that, I'd have to mute myself. Would have lost if Steve didn't serve us. I don't think that's not how. That's not how. No, that's not how it works. I wouldn't. Yeah, if he wouldn't have gotten the chance to save us had the manager not given him a chance, trusting him and then introducing him. Yeah, so it goes both ways. Give the manager credit for bringing him on, and I think the plan was always to bring him on when the Liverpool defenders get tired, and it worked. They were huffing and puffing, couldn't stop him, couldn't even stop Gittins. And Gittins showed today he's a good signing. I'm not going to keep repeating myself, but maybe let me try. Maybe this will be the last time. I've told people Gittins is an excellent signing. I think before we signed him, when people were clamoring for the club to go for what's his name, the Ghanaian Spanish international in Nico Williams. Yes, yeah, a bigger name, more exposed than maybe. He's won a few stuff that Gittins hasn't won, but the truth remains, numbers show that Gittins actually did better than him. One of the top, he's in the top 1% of dribblers in world football. Yeah, he finished last season, but in the Bundesliga, and won, I think, how many man of the match in Europa Champions League? But I remember one at least. But that's an excellent play in there. Just he's had a shaky start to life as a Chelsea player, which I think he will overcome overall and come good. But that's, by the way, Enzo Fernández, what a player. And during the game today, I don't remember. I can't quite remember who was it that said that Enzo Fernandez shouldn't have. That he'd rather see Bonanote than Enzo Fernandez start. And I told them, look, against Liverpool, that irrespective of what you think of Enzo Fernandez or whether you believe he's been crappy since the start of the season, that if he doesn't start, Liverpool will run us over in the midfield. I get it, but if you paid attention to the game, you see that he was brilliant. Moises Caicedo was excellent, but Enzo Fernandez was so good. Could have gotten 2 goals actually, but I was unlucky. One of them was off the mark. The other one hit the woodwork, just clipped the woodwork. He was that good today. Was excellent at shielding the ball, navigating tight spaces and finding his teammates. I knew we needed him in that game. And that's especially that's especially true because Liverpool weren't going to defend deep. There are tons of spaces to exploit against Liverpool, and when you have Enzo Fernandez on the pitch in that type of game, he excels. But even when that isn't the case, he still gets the job done. But he did turn it up to a maximum notch today. He was excellent. Let's see, Coach. Who do you think is a good partner for Caicedo between Enzo and and Fitzlavia? Here's something I want to say quickly. Both operate differently, and you could Lavia and Enzo. Both you could say traditionally. I don't know. Yeah, you could argue traditionally. Not really. Traditionally, Enzo is a deep line playmaker. Lavia more of a DM than Enzo. So if the focus is to ensure that the 2 6s you're starting that they shield that defensive line, you get more. If you want a more defensive starting 11, then go with Lavia. But if you want balance between shielding the defensive line, and maybe actually don't count him as one of the players that will be shielding the defensive line. But irrespective of what you think of Enzo Fernandez, he does a lot defensively too. So Enzo Fernandez is more into more of a deep line playmaker. He's more of into dictating the tempo of the game. I know Lavia can do that, but in all honesty, I'd argue that Enzo Fernandez, that's his thing traditionally, and better at doing that than Romeo Lavia. Enzo Fernandez sometimes actually he doesn't even need a first touch to orchestrate a defense splitting pass because he has that excellent vision. On his day, make the move, he will see you. Sometimes he doesn't need a first touch to orchestrate a pass to you. Lavia in most cases does need a first touch before deciding what to do with the ball, which has led to him on occasions losing the ball. But I'm not saying he's a bad player. I will never say that he's an excellent player. As my bro Vince calls him, the instigator. I think that's what he calls him. He's a difference maker too. The three of them, if the three of them are on the pitch, I don't see any midfield in the Premier League doing well against us. If Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, and Moises Caicedo, if the three of them are on the pitch, I don't see any midfield in the Premier League beating us. Yeah. So, and Enzo Fernandez in this case has added a lot more to his game. He crashes the box, gets goals, still utilizes his vision very well. Because the second goal, he could have gone wide to Gittins, who gave him the ball, but he was well aware of his surroundings. He read the position of Cucurella, and he did see that he wasn't off, which is why he laid that ball to him. And Cucurella also did put in a carpet cross, which Estevão William pounced on, that helped us score the winning goal. So they're not exactly the same. I think it all comes down to the opposition. If we're going to be fighting a lot of, you can say, where we need to be defensively solid, to start defending all the time from the midfield area, then the better pairing will be Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia. Yeah, because defensively, Enzo Fernandez isn't the best. Lavia probably will do a lot more defensively than him. But again, if you want total control, you need Enzo Fernández there. Total control and also transition, or you can say a perfect connection between the defensive midfield and the attack. You need Enzo Fernández. So it all comes down to the opposition. Enzo really tried it. He was excellent. He was excellent in that left-hand pocket there. Wherever he can attacking defensively, he did well too. My bro, we haven't spoken for like 1,000 years. Jude Oladipupo Mesolole Kugbadu, my brother. Nice to see you, Egbo. Ekara, Ekusheu, Iyanko. Nice to see you. Hello, coach, and everyone. Congratulations to everyone for the win. Huge win. Wasn't even luck. An excellent win for us, in my opinion. Forget XG does tell a story to a certain measure, but there are all eye tests is important too. We didn't look like we were gonna lose that game, and I think it'd be correct to say we didn't look like we were satisfied with a draw. We wanted a win. The manager was bold with his substitutions, and he paid off. Gittins could have get an excellent strike out there, but Mamadashvili was excellent today. And also, Estevao William did try him. He was excellent at stopping that shot too. That one was close. So yeah, Enzo should know how to shut down outside 18, and he looks lazy this season. Here's the thing, Usmani. If you know him very well, I think it was Jay. Jay did put it perfectly. I think there's something you can argue has become constant. He usually starts the season slowly. I'm not sure. Maybe I need to take a step back and look at how he started all the seasons he's played for us. I don't quite agree with that, but it does make sense to a certain extent because he starts the season slowly and then picks up and then stays at the highest level till the end of the season. But I don't actually agree that he's been posting this since the start of the season. No, not just him. In the games that we've struggled, you can say majority of our players on the pitch on the day all have struggled too, if you get my point. Gusto and Sanchez are still holding us back. I think the lack of understanding of what Maresca is doing with Gusto is the reason why a lot of people want him, you can say, don't rate him. And I'm going to say this, I think I've said this before. Gusto does the basics of what the manager wants him to do correctly. And that's the reason why he gets to start, irrespective of what he scores goals and creates chances. And actually, he was one of our best players against PSG, wasn't he? Tell me if he wasn't. And today, actually, he was one of our best players on the day. But because of the lack of understanding of what the manager wants him to do, people don't rate him. And I'm going to go back to reminding you that he does the basics of what the manager demands of him perfectly, which is why he still starts the next game if he's fit. The basics being him popping up in areas, completing the triangles, helping us gain numerical advantage over the opposition players, the opposition players at any given moment. And he does that perfectly. He's not been perfect at it. He's not been perfect at creating chances or maybe shooting. I think that has you can say to a considerable measure you can say that wields that the fact that he's not been creating chances of scoring goals, that people find it difficult to look beyond those two factors to understand that he does exactly what the manager wants him to do, the fundamentals of what the manager wants him to do, which is to pop up in areas, complete the triangles, help us gain a numerical advantage over the opposition at any given time. And he does that perfectly. But people, the average football fan, because he's not been scoring goals or creating chances, they think, yeah, he's been off. He's been an excellent player for us. And as long as he's fit, he'll keep starting. Shay, Wendy, 445. Nice to see you. 5-2. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yes, I am much better, although my voice not 100%. But I'm not. I don't think I'll lose my voice again. Probably still clearing, and I'm getting there gradually. But thank you for asking. And we have 11 likes, and I do hope you're doing well too. 11 likes. We should be doing a lot better than 11 likes. We still have 13 people following the show. We had 40 plus, and if half of you took the time to like the video, we'll have at least 15 likes. But let's get the likes up, people. In total, we have 74 likes, 13 on YouTube. The rest is shared between X and Facebook, whether equally Coachila doesn't know. Let's see. So thank you for joining us. Let's see anything else here. Let's look at the numbers of the players there, how well they did line up. It was a beautiful performance. Beautiful performance. The lowest rated player there, Jão Pedro, 6.2, and Pedro Neto, 6.9. But Enzo Fernández, he was brilliant today. Mostly Caicedo, my goodness. Rhys James, I will never forget that delicious carpet pass. Basically, from where he is on the lineup here in the right back position, starting position, on the carpet to find Gittins. You could say practically, in the final third. That was something special to behold, really. And I'm glad I experienced that. My goodness. Badiashile was brilliant. I'm not sure. But for Willie Caballero to say nothing serious, it was just a precautionary measure. I believe that. He walked off, not gingerly. He walked off the feet and the pit properly, which for me, he didn't look as if he was anything serious. Could have continued had we left him on the pitch, but probably the staff didn't want to risk too much. They had to take him off, not to aggravate whatever he felt. Josh Archibald, we heard, nothing serious too, was brilliant. Was that looked more confident on the ball than he looked the last time he got a chance. He was a bit shaky, but today he was just brilliant. The way he carried the ball, didn't fear, exploiting spaces left and right. That was just brilliant for him. So we'll start looking at their numbers. The least rated player here, Jão Pedro. And you could argue everything, you can say, comes down to the application of the manager's plan on the day, but he did good. Eventually, he'll start scoring again, and as you've seen, if you were paying attention, I did read the insights before the game where he's created the most big chances for us. 3 in total. That's not something to be taken for granted, really. So let's look at the number. Cucurella, as usual, was brilliant. One of the players looked as if he wasn't ready for that game. I wasn't going to accept a draw. Wanted us to win. Was brilliant. He did shut off Mohamed Salah. He pocketed him. Maybe if we touch his hair, we'd find Mohamed Salah there. Salah had a very, very bad game. And usually when you face a very tough opposition like Cucurella, even when you get a clear-cut chance, you fluff it, which was, you can argue, exactly what happened to Mohamed Salah today. He had a few clear-cut chances to have a go at our end, but didn't do well. One of them, he ballooned. Even overall, Cucurella was just brilliant today, and I'm just happy. Happy, more importantly, it's important to remember that he extended his contract at Chelsea, which I didn't know was going to be as easy as it was. So Tony is back again. Maybe he went back to, maybe he was grilling. He was grilling some beef there before joining and had to take off to go complete it. Big up, Tony. How are you doing, man? Welcome to the panel.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, crystal clear, crystal clear. It took a
Oh,
while.
good. Sorry, I wish I was grilling. I was actually back driving in an area with a pretty bad signal. So
Oh, so
I'm back
you
now.
on the road?
Yeah. A little bit, yeah. But I'll be stopping here soon. But I just didn't want the connection to be all choppy on you, so I just decided to bug out and wait till I got to a clearer signal. So yeah.
Makes
Well,
sense.
first of
Makes
all,
sense.
though, yeah, no, I just wanted to say, like, I'm glad you're feeling better. It seemed like you were out of commission for a little while there, so it's
Yeah, I
nice.
was.
It's really nice to have you back.
Thank you, bro. Nice to have you on the panel too. Your thoughts on the game? An excellent performance overall from us.
Oh,
Honestly, we didn't look like we were gonna lose that game. Didn't look like we wanted the draw. We wanted the win, and we got a win in a dramatic fashion. I don't know the last time we scored such a late winner in a game, but let's hear your
mm.
thoughts on the game.
Well, first of all, I would just like to start off by saying, "Suck it, Carragher." Am I allowed to say that on here? Can I say
Go
"suck it,
ahead. Yeah,
Carragher"?
suck it is good. He can suck it. Suck it. I mean, it's cleaner than
Yes,
what a lot of people say.
that that slobbering Minecraft-headed buffoon can hold that.
Yeah.
I am tired of listening to his slack-jawed mouth. So that first and foremost, I'd like to dedicate this win to him. That was for him. Um, but yeah, just the fight and the determination, and it's interesting. I try to be pretty even keel about these matches and just be really fair and say, hey, I thought this was poor. Hey, I thought that was great. I thought this was in between. I try to be fair, but it's like it
Mhm.
seems like you know. There are parts of me that are like, I think there were some parts that I would have liked to see kind of happen a little bit better than most people are like. I feel like a lot of people that are usually really negative about things they don't like are really positive about this match, and I'm just like, how is it you guys are more positive than me? Now listen, I'm very positive, but what I wanted to
Mhm.
say is there were just a handful of things I was like, I'd like to see that a little bit better, but you know what, I'm not even going to mention them because I think in our group chat and on social media and just I think I've had enough negativity from our fan base of the past 3 weeks to where I don't need to add any more to that. I'm just gonna enjoy this win
I don't
and
shy away
say,
from it. What I do,
yeah,
if it's
I,
when
mhm,
you come when I see somebody being that negative,
mhm,
usually I come with them. I come to them with the facts. There was
yeah,
one on X that came to me telling me how he told me that these guys don't know what they're doing, and I told him, yeah, because we lost 2 games in a row. You probably believe, yeah, this is the right time to
yeah,
come start talking to me again. And he told me it was the algorithm. I didn't care. Look, if anybody thinks, I'm going to say this again. I know you know that Club World Cup isn't a factor. They're lying to themselves, or maybe they don't understand
yeah,
how
yeah.
football works. Apologies for cutting you off. Go ahead with what you were
No,
saying.
no, 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 no. Keep go, preach, coach. Give it to them. Don't let them hear the end of it. It is absolutely a factor. You keep going.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't want to know. And it is concerning that some of them, if you listen to them, honestly, it's clear they want the club to lose, to you can say to not do what so they say I told you so. But I'm glad
Bananas. Yeah.
the signs are good. Even and it'd be correct to say we beat Liverpool with a depleted team.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course it would be correct to
Mm.
say. And we were more depleted than they were. I know that they were missing Allison, but I mean, Marmadashvili in that goal. I mean, I thought he had. I
I
thought
would take him over
honestly,
Sanchez.
there are two things that kept Liverpool in this game. Number one, we had a lot of giveaways in certain portions of that match that where we were just inviting them back in because of a bad final product or a stray pass.
Hmm.
But the
Hmm.
other thing that kept them in this game was their keeper. I mean, yes, he got absolutely smoked by Caicedo's worldie, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, he only scores worldies. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that. I'm pretty sure that most keepers on the planet would have trouble stopping that first goal by Caicedo. However, he had some killer saves for them, and I honestly think he stopped some of the bleeding. I think it could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for him making
Hmm.
some pretty class saves. But to me, all that to say, like they were down Allison. Is there anyone else I'm missing? Because I don't know. I was just that. I think that's all they were down, and we what were we down to our seventh and eighth choice center backs by using fullbacks? I mean, it was madness.
Yeah, we only have good numbers in the midfield area. You can say on the flanks maybe, but
Hmm.
in the attacking in the number 9 area, we had issues. Defensive area, like you said, yeah, the we're down the pecking order actually, and still the manager he was brilliant in his tactics. Starting Reece James and pairing Reece James and Moses Caicedo in the central as the two sixes, ensuring
Hmm.
that you could say inexperienced defensive line had a good shield, and it worked perfectly because they didn't
Yeah.
allow the Liverpool players to, you could say, to come at us persistently, which could have led to the likes of Archimbog or even was then Badiashile as good as he was today, making silly mistakes. So I'm just happy, really. What do you make of his tactics today? The selection, and some people were arguing that yeah, that would be better starting Bonanote over Enzo Fernandez, and I told them
Mm.
you must not know him, irrespective of how badly you think he's played of late. But your
Mm.
thoughts on the manager's approach?
Oh, oof. Well, before the match, I had a couple of question marks, but it's kind of hard for me to pick it apart after the match because I think
Mm,
that, I mean, he got it right on. I think one of the things that threw me for a loop, and if anyone's honest, threw them for a loop as well, was if you see Gusto and Reece James on the starting 11 sheet before the match, you're automatically thinking you know where they are. And then, boom, when the match starts, you're like, hold on, Gusto's in the midfield and Reece James
mm-hmm,
is at right back. I thought, that ship had sailed a long time ago. We're not using Gusto in the midfield anymore, but he killed it today. I think I heard a Chelsea YouTuber refer to him as our Swiss Army knife player because even though he might drop a stinker occasionally, Gusto is he really can be slotted in a lot of different positions and do a job. And so, even though he can drop the occasional stinker, I'm sorry, he's very young, and I still think that he's quite an asset to have when you can just say, "All right, well, you're not going to do this. You're going to go here." Or, hey, today you're going to go in at left back. Okay, I'll do it. And he'll do it, and he'll do a job there. And but I did not expect him to do well in the midfield today, and he was phenomenal. He did his job. Bruce James, seeing him back at right back, man, that was a throwback. That was really nice to see. That gave me some good feels, seeing him full on like up and down right back. That was really nice. And he seems to be pretty fit. Yeah. Like I don't know how much we're gonna do that. I don't know if we're still afraid of overworking him, but I have to give my hats off to the medical team. There was a time where I just think I remember if Reece James gets one more injury, I'm sorry, like that might be it for him. And he got one more injury, and I was like, oh my god. But then after that one, he came back, and they've managed him so well. And touch wood, he's still firing on all cylinders. But yeah, I thought everybody had for what I was expecting had a fantastic performance. And I mean, we haven't even gotten to Stevo yet, right? Like we'll have to get to Estevao, obviously. And I'm
mm-hmm.
sure you probably gave a 30,000 foot view in your intro before I joined, and you probably kind of touched all of that.
Oh no,
But
but go
I'm
ahead.
I'm sure I'm
Talk
sure
about.
we'll be able to dissect
Listen,
some of that.
listen. It's your turn now. Talk about the players. What you make of their performances? S7 was just brilliant.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I
Well.
get it. Some
Mhm.
people are saying that the manager should have started him. Chances are, had he started, he wouldn't have made such an impact. The plan,
Yeah.
I believe, was always to bring him on by the time Liverpool players are, you could say, were tired a bit, and it worked
He
perfectly. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
still hear me? I cut out for a
Yeah, I
second.
can hear you crystal clear.
You hear me, Coach?
Yes, yes,
Hello?
yes. I can hear you. I can hear you if you're there.
Hello? Can you hear me, Coach?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. If you're there, I can hear you. All right. It looks like Tony can now hear me. I'll wait. He's going to come back, and then I'll add him back so we can continue the conversation. For me, Estevao was brilliant. The manager knew exactly what he was doing. And the plan, if you ask me, was always to bring him on in the second half when the Liverpool players are a bit tired. But he's proven to be. Okay, there you go. I was hearing you actually, but it looks like you weren't hearing me.
Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, I can hear you at all.
Yeah. Okay, go
I don't
ahead.
know
Go
what happened.
ahead.
Sorry.
No
Yeah,
worries.
I just hopped right back on. Mm, I lost it, man. What was I
Estevão,
on?
Estevão, Estevão.
Yes. So he is a great super sub right now. He is an absolute shot in the arm to this team. Whether you need it or not. That's the thing. Like he comes on and he just always brings an injection of just energy to the team and just like it's just like when he comes on and starts when as soon as he's able to touch the ball if they get it to him like I mean, everything just starts feeling a little more electric. You're like, yeah, you have anticipation because you're like, what's he going to do next? This is exciting, you know, but then he gets on the ball and starts doing it. And it's just like he lifts everyone up around him. Like everybody starts to perk up if they're getting a little bit tired because he just comes on and he's so hungry and he's so ready and I mean, you think about all of the cliches like, oh, you know, he hasn't played in the Premier League before, but more than that, he's not from any of the top five European leagues. More than that, he's only 18 years old. And I mean, this kid comes in here and he's just like, yes, he's young, still has a few things to learn. He is a gem that will still need to be polished. But this guy, it's like he already understands the physicality of the Premier League. And I don't think that it hurts that he came from a Brazilian league because I think, like I mentioned this before in a different broadcast of ours, but, you know, I think when after the Club World Cup, we realized that a lot of the world was sleeping on the physicality of Brazilian leagues. So that was a help for
Yeah, that
him.
was an eye opener
Yeah.
for the footballing world.
Yes. So that was helpful for him, yeah, because he's kind of used to getting amongst it and being physical. So that was already kind of a leg up for him. But as fast as he's taken to things and taking to Maresca's ideas and just in the right place at the right time and just these silky like just I mean just pinpoint little touch. I mean it's just you know how some of those players like just those generation I hate to use this cliche term but just a generational player that like dribbles so well and you're like okay he's silky but some of them it's like the ball is like attracted to a magnet in their boot. So you're just like, how did you dribble around that man just now? I didn't even see you touch the ball. It's like the ball just followed you where you went. It's like you have it on remote control. I mean, that when I watch this guy, it's just, jeez, like, but yeah, and my point is this: with him getting these minutes now on these large stages and already making this kind of impact at this young of an age. You know, I mean, we all know, like, he has, I always remind people, he has a clause in his contract, I believe, where if he wins the Ballon d'Or, Palmeiras gets a pretty, a nice little, package of money there. Because of the ceiling they believe this guy has is the sky's the limit. But you think about all that and then you look what he's doing already. I mean, for me, that's just more time that he has to get better and better and better all the way into his
He
prime.
didn't even
So I'm
have
just, you know what I
preseason with
mean?
us.
I know.
Like
So
how many games?
if you
Two
hit the ground
preseason
running
games.
this
Yeah,
early, if you hit the ground running this early, and you're 18 and what's the prime years of football, what is it, 25, 26 to about
yeah, around
29,
that number.
30?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
without proper preseason.
Oh my God. I'm just saying, like, we all thought the sky was the limit for this kid when we heard, but for him to hit the ground running, this is key. This well, this early, I think it's showing us his ceiling is higher than we probably thought it was
A
because
lot of
he's just gonna have more
people
time under
thought
his
we
belt.
would be better. We would have been better off signing the guy that went to Madrid. And I told them at the time
Andrick,
that
no way.
yeah,
Mm-mm,
yeah.
nope.
I told them they weren't paying attention. That guy is more of
Mm-hmm.
power. Estevao is
Mm-hmm.
more of finesse and and intelligence.
Yep.
But the other guy more of power and skill. But I don't think he's anywhere close to being as skillful as Estevao.
No. I actually remember, like, you know, the media just in different talking heads and just influencers on social media. They were talking about, yeah, you know, Chelsea got Estevao, but Real Madrid got Endrick. Endrick's the one; he's the chosen. And I just feel like if you looked at the way that they played even before they came, plus the way they play now, especially, I just feel like the only reason anyone ever said that was because it was the Real Madrid factor. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
and they
if
have
one of
strong.
these
They,
young
you can say they
gems
have
goes to
They have
Go ahead.
strong media representation.
Yeah. If one of these young gems go to Real Madrid or Barcelona, they're going to get the PR because it's just like, well, I mean, and to be fair, we've seen it. Like, Neymar went to Barcelona. We see these young prospects come and you're like, "Oh man, this is Real Madrid,
Even
this is Barcelona. They're
Robinho,
scouting
even
departments. They know what
Robinho,
they're
who
doing."
wasn't that good when he went to
Mhm.
Madrid, the media, they how they hyped him until
Yeah.
he got to the
Yeah.
Premier League. That was when everybody realized,
Yeah.
yeah, he wasn't really that good. But go ahead, what you were saying.
So, well, no, I'm saying it's some hype because of who the clubs are, but to be fair, some of it is also due to history. I mean, they do have a history of finding these gems, and then these
True,
guys are like
true.
become these Galacticos, and okay,
Yeah. So to some extent, the history sets the
so
precedent.
people kind of slept on Estevao because he was going to Chelsea, and if you ask
Hmm.
me,
Sorry, did we lose you again?
I don't know if you can hear me anymore. I cut
No, I
out
can hear
again.
you. I can hear you. I don't know.
Oh, can you hear me, Coach?
Yep,
Hold on one
I can
sec.
hear you. Just go ahead. All right, it looks like he has to go out and come back in again. We're having the
Oh, I
audio
bet you can
issues
hear me
still.
again, but I can't hear you.
Uh,
I'll be
oh,
right back.
all right, all right. Let's see. Here we have what do we have here? AB, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Yes, let's make Chelsea great again. 12 likes, but I do know we can do a lot better than that. If you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. AB says Coachila Estevao is the most impactful 18-year-old since Wayne Rooney, he says. I don't know, Steve, if you can still hear me. Tony, so to speak, if you can still hear me. So yeah, the kid. I used to tell Bobby not to be concerned that the kid will hit the ground running. The physicality, I wasn't concerned about the physicality of the Premier League. And my friend Ryan, aka Carlito, thinks, yeah, he's probably gonna go out on loan. And I was telling people, you haven't seen this guy play. Such an intelligent player, highly skilled. Uh, Reads the game very well. He can finish. He can create chances. And up close, I'm starting to learn a lot more about his game. Actually, look at that delicious cross he put into the box for Enzo Fernández, which clipped the woodwork. That was well timed, perfectly timed. Actually, he puts his thing. Something I like about players is footballing intelligence, and I like players that put the ball into the box with intent. Estevao did that. So he could have had one assist and two goals actually. That's really saved one that he curled that was headed into the next bar. But that's really very huge goalkeeper. Excellent save from him. So Estevao could have had, yeah, one assist and two goals today. But go ahead. It looks like you're back. I was
Yeah,
hearing
sorry,
you.
I'm
The same
almost to a
issue. No,
stopping place where
I
I'm
think
gonna have a
probably
good
my end.
signal. Huh.
Probably my end. Go ahead.
No, I'm almost to a stopping place where I'm gonna have a good signal and I won't have to worry
Okay.
anymore. But
Okay.
no, I was just talking about, yeah, I mean, but I think it worked to his benefit that he wasn't hyped either because there was already some hype and he was already going to the Premier League and he was already stepping way up and there was a lot of murmurs about him
Hmm.
and in the Brazilian press, they were all saying this guy, he's the next Neymar, and even Neymar himself wasn't talking about Endrick, he was talking about Estevao.
Yep.
And but because of PR of
That's
some of
actually
these
one excellent
clubs, that
point.
worked out. That worked
That,
out well for us
yeah, that's
because
one
now,
excellent point you just made. Neymar doesn't talk about Hendrick, he talks about Estevao.
yeah,
That's an excellent point, but go ahead.
yeah, but I mean, but it worked out well because all the PR went, to Madrid. Fine, I'm used to it. It's what it is. That's the world we live in. Fine, but it worked to our benefit because I mean, I think there was some pressure there, but I mean, as good as he is, and as much, and he just this is this conversation for another day. But I think he just has this incredible balance of self confidence, but also humility. Like he's not arrogant,
No,
but
he's not. No.
he has confidence in himself, and that's the perfect balance. But anyway, he's still young, and so I think if there were much more pressure. that could affect him, and then you're under the weight of that. But you have a combination of where all the PR kind of went somewhere else, and he kind of just casually went about his business right under the
Hmm.
radar, started training with us, and now they're managing him really well. And I know we're chomping at the bit. We're just like, oh, you got to start him. And yes, I can't help it. I'm kind of in that camp, but there is a part of me that's like, I kind of like how we're really nurturing this we have, like we're not showing him, we're not completely showing all our hands with him too soon. We're not overexposing him. We're not throwing him into 90 minutes of the deep end week after week. We're just like bringing him in at really critical, crucial moments where we know he's going to make a difference, or maybe we're like, hey, just get some minutes under your belt because we have this lockdown right now. Whatever it is, either extreme. But we're not just like using him just for the sake of using him. But I think, given what we're seeing already, we may be coming to the point, and everything in me wants to say we're there, but I just want to protect him. But we may be coming to the point where he's just undeniable. Like you have to nail him on as a starter in your important matches. But I will say this, like, I have to give Maresca the benefit of the doubt and trust him that he's going to start doing that when he thinks it's the right time, because he's at Cobham with Estevao every week, right? Like
Yeah.
he knows.
Hmm.
I just have to trust him that he knows, and between his conversations with Estevao, what he can and can't handle. And I just have to trust him that he's gonna manage him well, that he's gonna mentor him well, and that he's gonna look out for him, because as long as we just don't overcook him and just overexpose him too soon, I mean, you're going to have somebody that gradually just kind of grows more and more into it, and then he's just going to be undeniable, hopefully for years, But
Hmm.
that's kind of my dilemma with Esteval right now. Like, my heart wants so badly to say start this boy every match that you can, but my head is just like, I just want to protect him, and I mean,
Yeah.
he looks like he's ready, but I mean, I don't know, so he's just so young.
Yep. Thank you so much for that. And we have the captain of the community in Constantine Dunn. He doesn't have discipline. Yep. Almost always late. But Dante, big up to you. I appreciate you finding the time to join me on the panel. I do hope you're doing well. It's been like 1,000 years since we streamed last. I'm much better, although my voice isn't quite clear yet. Getting there, but I'm not concerned about losing my voice. Thank you for joining us on the panel. Let's hear your opinion, your thoughts on the game today, your observations. What do you make? I'd say a genius, you can say, tactics by Enzo Maresca. First of all, the midfield, ensuring that they screen the back line perfectly, and they did that. And you can say that helped. We didn't even realize that Josh Archibald was on the pitch, and he was so protected so much that yeah, he was having fun, actually exploiting spaces whenever he sees it and whenever he deems fit. But your thoughts on the game? Let's hear you. How do we win this one? The most important things that we did that helped us get clinch all the 3 points.
Yeah, big up, coach.
Yeah,
Amazing win.
Tony.
Yeah, very, very good win. So very happy with that. Also, a very big happy birthday to you. I don't know if you've told anyone, but
Thank you. I appreciate. I usually don't like saying it. Even when I posted
I
something
know.
online, I just used my day.
Coach, happy birthday!
I usually don't like saying it.
I knew you probably wouldn't have said it, so I was like,
Yeah.
I'm glad he brought that one out to the front. Yeah.
But it's okay. I appreciate it. Would have been a
Yeah.
very bad day had we lost that game. But I didn't fear we were going to lose it. I fear it was going to end in a draw. But go ahead. Thank you. So thank you, Tony. I appreciate that.
so humble, coach. Very humble. Yeah, big up, Tony. Is Wendy there as well? It doesn't look like she's no
Wendy,
connection.
but she's
Big up,
Big up,
Wendy.
Dante.
But she's disconnected.
Okay, big
now.
up there, Wendy, and everyone in the chat. Yes, yeah, great win. Tactics were spot on, like you said. The basically a more of a 4-3-3 sort of fluid approach, very much a fluid system with having Reese and Gusto in there helping out quite a lot. Like you said, that really protected the back line. But also just, that extra runner in there in Gusto made a big difference. Even though he didn't have, probably he's still got a lot of stuff to work on, but his running and his work rate is always top notch. Like guy can run all day, no problem. So that really helped in there just to cover those areas going back and going forward, especially as well. So yeah, very, very good tactics, worked out well. When Liverpool scored, I'm like, oh no, here we go again. These guys are going to get lucky again and pick up a point or maybe even win it somehow. But thank God their luck was on our side at the end. Well, not luck. We deserved to win the game, and we created the chances. And I think we deserved to win that game. So thank God we won the game, and we move forward. It's a big 3 points, pushes us back up a little bit, and puts another little question mark on Liverpool, which is always nice to do.
Yeah, I'm just laughing about what AB said.
It's not 50, AB. Yeah, he just turned 50. That's all.
70.
Jesus Christ. That's okay. I hope I get to that and more. But yeah, that's, by the way, that's I wanted to ask you. I'm not laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. It wouldn't be a bad thing. So why am I laughing? God forgive me. So let's say this. Let's talk about this. I'm sure you've seen that online. A lot of Chelsea fans complaining about how the manager utilizes Malo Gusto. Pies did say something to that effect, and my response was probably because you don't understand how the manager utilizes him. And I think that's the case for a lot of Chelsea fans. First, I think it's important that they ask themselves this question. If it wasn't doing what the manager wants him to do whenever he's utilized like that, then we're not you're not gonna I don't think we'll be seeing him that much on the pitch. But because he gets it right, and if you understand football, you understand that he does the basics of what the manager wants him to do on the pitch. Whenever he utilizes him like that, he does it perfectly, and it's simple, which is completing the triangles, or you could, if you like, phrase it this way: popping up in areas to help us gain numerical advantage over the opposition, or to make it easier with the person with the ball to release the ball. And he does that perfectly. I get it. He's not been excellent. He's not good at creating chances or maybe scoring goals. But he was, of all days that Pies or PYS had to say that today, that he was one of our best players, actually.
Well, if you've been on Chelsea Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, for a while, I don't know. I just think maybe I don't know. I'm gonna be kind about this. I don't take anything Pi says seriously, so
Exactly. I was gonna say, don't give him any respect. That guy doesn't deserve it,
I
unfortunately.
mean, it's just he might have news before other people, so I might pop in and say, "Oh, what do you know about transfers?" But like anything negative, I mean, he is just like the bottomless pit of negativity from which it all stems in our fan base. It seems like. I mean, he's just, anyway,
He's
yeah,
one of those
he's
pillars that
totally off on
drives
that
the
one.
narrative, unfortunately. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that before I hear again, I want to get your opinion on that, Gusto Roll. Something I want to say quickly. The last time we lost a game, it was a Chelsea, a huge, big, one of the biggest Chelsea creators that went on X and said, after spending quadrillion billion or a gazillion billion, like my wife would say, this is the team we have. And that's a person today will go, yeah, yeah, we won. Tomorrow, if we lose, goes back to how much we spent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But let's hear you.
reactionary.
Gusto, that role, for me, he executes it perfectly. And I know the chance creation and the goals eventually will come. He was one of our best players against PSG in the Club World Cup
Yes,
final.
yes, that's exactly that.
Exactly.
That's what
Yeah.
people sleep on. I'm look. I get it. If we keep talking about that Club World Cup, we're gonna start hearing like, "Do you guys just living in that?" Like you always go back to that. But that game was more than just we won that Club World Cup. We got a big piece of silverware. We were the inaugural champions. Like we beat the best team in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It was more than that. It told us a lot about our personnel and
The mentality of our players.
if they're fit and they're rested, yeah. And it taught us a lot about what a lot of them are capable of in different areas. And I'm telling you right now, I will die on this hill. we don't win that game, or at least as emphatically as we did, if Gusto didn't nail his role and
Yeah,
his tactics and what his assignment was flawlessly in that match. He was so critical to that match.
yeah. Dante, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, look, opposition is very important as well. The way the opposition plays, so he
Mm,
suits this fluid system, more of a 4-3-3 in midfield, and going back, going forward against opposition like a Liverpool, like PSG, like opposition that are going to go the other way very quickly as well, that would want to attack as well, that really unsettles them. So yes, for games like this, he's pretty much been. If you look back, even last season, all the games like this, he was very good because that's his. He knows that role very well, and he can really, really, really flourish in that role. When you come back, the problem is when he plays against more lower block teams, etc. He tends to struggle because there's not that much space. But also, like we said, he's not really a creative player. He's not an attacking player. Doesn't really shoot. So yes, you see the best of him in games like this. So 100%. These are made for him and for Maresca's tactics. When we play opposition like this, he'll pretty much be there every game on the starting team sheet when we play opposition type like this, because he will shine in those games. And like I said, he did Club World Cup, and last season he really shone in those games. But yeah, there's not as many of these games as the other ones, unfortunately. So yeah, just got to use him correctly.
and he's and when I come back, I wanted to. What was the question I wanted to ask you again? Ooh, what was it? I can't, but maybe I'll remember. Then I'll come back with that question again. But let me catch up with a bit of what we have here. AB says, I think Malo Gusto play again in Brighton confused Liverpool. No one was
Yep.
expecting Gusto to play in the midfield. Yeah, the manager knew exactly what he was doing. Last season, they said Gravenberg is clear of Caicedo and Rice. I never disrespected neither of them. I told everyone Caicedo is just a tad bit more better. But that was a delicious goal. I actually hate comparing them. If they don't respect Caicedo, we respect him. I know he's one of the best in the whole world, and I don't care how they view him, really. He's gotten better. He's actually improving. He's a much better player than he was for Brighton. Honestly, Click says that Enzo Herrera should have gone in. Did everything right, but just was
Yeah.
unlucky. It clipped off of the woodwork, and
Mm.
he made the run. But the cross itself, I learned a lot about Estevao William today. My goodness, he's not just a dazzler; he's a fine creator too.
Mm.
And that cross was with pace, which means all Enzo Fernandez had to do was just direct it into the net. He did his best. He beat the goalkeeper hands down. The goalkeeper was rooted. It was wide.
Yeah, it's not an
Let's
easy
see.
header, that one. Yeah,
Not easy.
it's
Not easy.
No.
Yeah.
when the ball's coming that fast and he's running in quite fast as well, Enzo. The timing has to be perfect,
Yeah.
and you have to just cushion the ball basically. And you can see it was just a touch. He was just overran at a touch, and so it was a bit behind him. So very, very hard header to execute those ones. And I think he still did very, very, very well to
Mm.
get it on target. Basically, just a bit unlucky,
He
unfortunately.
was unlucky. Latvia
Mm.
is worth the wait. I think eventually we'll find a way to manage his fitness and keep him fit.
Mm.
Just like in the case of what's his name, Reece James. We found a way to manage his fitness,
Mm.
and yeah, he stayed fit ever since. Kudos to Enzo Maresca, who's never in a rush to use him. Was you could say if he paid attention to what the fans have been saying, of chances are he'd be out injured right now. But yeah, he told people that he'd like to use him in every game, but he's just being cautious. And you could argue his what? Romeo Lavia eventually, I think he doesn't have K leg issues. Dante does it. No. In this
No,
case,
he
eventually
doesn't.
you could argue he'd be able to overcome the injuries that plagued him. And if he stays fit, my goodness. But I'm concerned a bit. He's looking like he's added a lot more meat.
Yeah, he's got muscular problems mostly. That's because he's got quite a lot of meat and yeah,
I'm
quite
sorry, I'm a sinner, and I want to go to heaven. I'm serious.
quite muscly meat. Yes.
Go ahead.
hell.
You're
You're
allowed
going to
today, coach.
hell.
It's your birthday. You're allowed today. Don't
No,
worry
I'm
about it.
going to heaven, man. Go
Today's
ahead.
your birthday. You can do whatever you want today. That's no problem.
Go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, you're all good, coach. It's your birthday. You can say what you want today. Go ahead. Keep going.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got muscular problems, and I knew that. If you remember, I when he picked up his first little muscular injury at the start when he joined us, I'm like, he's gonna probably have a few of those consecutive now, because players like that are a bit too muscly at that age, when they're 20, that their body changes a little bit,
Hmm.
they always tend to be injured. They go through like a little spell where they're injured quite a bit, just because their body transforms a little bit, and that little bit of growth. And he's quite a muscly guy. If you've seen him, I'm not sure if you guys seen him training in that. Yeah, at the Club World Cup, he's a very muscular guy. Like he's got like coach says, a bit of extra meat, but it's all muscle, so carries a bit of extra weight as well because of it. So I thought he might have a few
But
problems, and he ended up
I'm sorry.
having having that,
I want to
but he'll
ask
be over
you,
it now. Yeah,
but
he'll
it
get
is
over it
something
now.
he will eventually overcome.
Yeah, it's a growth thing. Like I said, I had a teammate that had exactly the same, and he was just too muscular and needed to really lose a bit of that, and weight management, eat the right things, diet. It's just his genetics. He's just built that way. But sometimes your body, when you're 20, 20, 21, that it changes a little bit. That 19 to 21, your body starts changing, and that's what happened to him as well. But I think he'll be fine after that. No problems. I think he'll be fine after that. He should that strength will come in handy going forward. But like I said, if you remember, I was saying it back 2 years ago, this could be a little bit of a problem for him going forward, just because I've experienced that with a teammate very similar. So
Hmm.
I'm like, hopefully it doesn't, but unfortunately, it happened exactly the same with him as well.
I hope he.
Well, and
I think in terms of patience, I think the club will be patient with him because he's still very young. I don't think we're at a point where we'd say, yeah, it's too much sell him. I think his age
Exactly. No,
is a
of course
factor.
not. Too young. Yeah.
If he was in his late 20s, then it'd be a concern. He's not even mid 20s yet. I'm gonna catch up with what we have in the chat, and we hear from Bamfordino. Then I will go to Tony. I'm quite sure he has something to add to the current topic. Yeah, Lavia is worth the wait. I agree with you. Clicks says that Lavia is the type of player you just don't sell, and we're not looking to sell him. During the summer transfer window, we heard rumors that United were interested in signing him. I heard that, didn't even discuss it because yeah, I knew at the time. Even I've always known that we're never gonna again sell him. The manager likes him too. He's a difference maker. Champong totally bossed the first time. He was excellent today. Looked better than the last time out. That Ganacho's first touch is $1 million I never knew. He has a delicious first touch. There are, let's say 5, 6 times now, or maybe a little less, that you see that sort of ball that Madueke will fluff. It would take him like 3 attempts to bring under control. But Garnacho, one touch, the ball stays on the carpet. One touch, and that is, and you could argue that he's still, in terms of confidence, he's not quite there. He's not quite there. But one thing I've told people, even before he joined us, when he was on the verge of joining us these days, is that had United been clinical in front of goal, it would have left them with a lot more assist numbers than he made for United. He puts the ball into the box with intent. He's not one of those. It's not like Madueke that just puts it into the box. Okay, deal with it. Yeah, and did put a few into the box today. I'm happy with signing him, and I think he would do well for us. Lucilla said, I'm still wondering how Chelsea did without the defense control. Dante, you see the reason why I was telling you that the last term, the changes he made when we considered the red card, that if I were him, I'd go for control. He tried to go for control, but probably in certain aspect made a mistake. There wasn't good balance between attack, midfield, and defense on that day. That was an issue.
Yeah.
But today we had control. We still had pacey players, good at dribbling to go at the Liverpool defense, and that helped a lot. Use control more importantly. Whenever we are on the ball, we're still able to beat the press, find our man. You should just go look at the build up to the second goal. My goodness, it was delicious. I think, was it the build up to the second goal or so? I think it was. It
Yeah,
was
look,
just,
the extra player makes a big difference, coach.
yeah,
Let's
it
not.
does.
Yeah,
It
it makes a
does.
big difference in build up. Yes.
For
So,
example, Liverpool
yeah.
had Anthony Taylor today, and we still won. So
And
an
yeah,
extra player makes a
Pretty
that's
much.
huge
another
Yeah.
point.
difference.
That's
Sorry,
that's
go ahead.
another point. I agree. Liverpool going to lose the league because of Hugo's red card. I don't think so. If anything, here's the thing. Something I said when they were signing all these players. People were saying that's it. The league is this, and I told them, for me, that's a little bit too much of change. Usually, when you win the league, you don't make that many changes. And had it not been for the price tag, they could have signed what's his name, the Crystal Palace former Chelsea Academy graduate. I think probably that was a bit too much, really. To an extent, they will eventually click, but it will take time. Football, I mean, if you understand football, you'd know that yeah, it was always going to be to some measure an issue. Taki, we're going to say is a cheers for the help today, Chelsea. Hopefully, we can stay on the top. Yeah, you still play us, but yeah, take it. We're happy. Thank you for joining the conversation. I appreciate you. Salute, Sangare. Sangare, so nice to see you out. I hope you're doing well. And we have Lasula here says, no red cards in the two game loss. Yeah, Chelsea would be top of the league. Yeah, I agree. If we didn't consider red cards in the two games we lost, I was so happy when I saw Margui go on, and it's my goodness, his pressing is excellent. Yeah. Bonfadinho, big up and thank you for joining the conversation. Before I go back to Tony, your thoughts, overall observation from the game. How did we win this one? I know you did say you trust the manager, but you weren't happy that Estevao wasn't starting. I still say I've seen people say what could have been had he started, and we're speaking in hindsight now. And I told them, look, chances are had he started, he wouldn't have been as impactful as he was when he was introduced. I've always known that probably the plan was to bring him on in the second half. But Enzo Maresca today was he was brilliant. But let's hear you.
Yeah, big ups to everyone and
Big up,
you.
Bamfordinho.
Happy birthday, Coachila.
Thank you, I
So,
appreciate that.
this afternoon, I think we have a very constructive, discussions, and there were so many questions you asked me, and I also gave you my opinion. But before
Mhm.
I delve deep into today's game, I've come across the fan base. It all has to do with sometimes the fan base are the problem, just because people have the medium, they have the platform, and they can make it so toxic to the extent that they don't regard the work the ex coach is doing or even the effort these players are making. I've seen people saying that Maresca is just a waste. He's not up to the Premier League, coaches. If you are talking about top coaches, Maresca is not part. A lot of people are saying a whole lot of things, but I think that discussion can come later. And before
Mhm.
this game, I think we talk about Estevao. I was of the opinion that Estevao brings a lot of stuff into your game. And
Creativity, to be more
yeah,
specific, I remember what you
creativity.
said.
And I was wondering why he has to start from the bench, and Ganacho should start ahead of him. But at the end of the day, you were able to convince me, and I also told you how I feel. You were saying that probably it has to be the tactics and everything. And at the end of the day, how Estevao was able to execute whatever the coach told him, it doesn't really matter. It could have been in the first half or maybe the latter part. But this time around, the coach decided to bring him right after the second half, and that was very, 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 very effective. If you look at this boy, you asked me a question: how well do you know Estevao? And I can tell you that during the Club World Cup, because of Estevao, they were basing in New Jersey. Most of their games were played in New Jersey. I
Do you
decided to
actually
go.
live in Jersey?
Yes, I
I
live in
told you I
Jersey.
used to live in Blackwood.
You live in Blackwood?
Yeah, I taught classes in Gloucester County College before. Yeah, for Wilmington University,
Oh,
the
that should be
satellite
South
campus
Jersey,
there.
right?
Yeah, but go ahead. We'll talk. We'll
Yeah.
talk. We'll talk
So
behind the
all
scene.
right, Coachila. So I was able to watch most of their games, MetLife Stadium, and the first game I watched him was against Porto, FC Porto. I decided to get a very good view of the field and everything. This guy was, and I was wondering, hey, can this guy survive the Premier League? And when he started training with the folks, I said, nah, this is a wizard right there. And their game against Porto, this guy was so amazing. Another game that he was causing a lot of problem was a game against Chelsea. And I remember very well that I was at the other side of the field, so I saw him on the right side. The way he gave Cucurella a whole lot of action. Everybody who went to that game can testify to the fact that he was so amazing. The goal he scored was classic. So if I hear people saying that maybe the boy is not ready, that's why the coach is not starting him, it marvels me because I know for sure that this guy is capable of doing everything. And if you look at the Brazilian league against the European leagues, the gap is just so narrow. Like they came into the Club World Cup and see what they were doing. So for me, I think Enzo Maresca has done so much, and people should give him the necessary respect, and they should just encourage him to do more for our football club. He is the best thing that has ever happened to this football club. And I have to be honest with you. I know people will disagree with me that we were playing against Liverpool, who are also having problems. Yes,
And had we lost, it'd be Charity FC.
exactly. And
I don't listen to them.
you can say whatever you want to say, but if you look at the Liverpool squad, they have the qualities. Although they are going through some stuff, I don't know what it is. But if they should bounce back, it's going to be very bloody. If you have a team that has Mo Salah, that has Saboslai, that has
It will
Van Dijk,
eventually click for them.
and we went in without most of our key players. That shows you that this team is not as bad as people are saying they are. And I would just encourage the Chelsea fans to just slow things down because the way they talk bad about the team, it sometimes it's not worth it. I know some Chelsea fans who were abusing Garnacho for signing for
Mm.
us. What is the point of you going after Garnacho? After all, he is here at Chelsea. Whatever he was exhibiting at Manchester United, it's not going to be the same thing that he's going to exhibit here. So if he's here coming to play for your football club that you are saying you love so much, why would you trash the boy for no reason? If you have the platform, you can just go ahead, just begin to hype the boy instead of you saying all sort of things. So me,
Fact.
I'm just encouraging all the Chelsea supporters. Whatever we've seen today should just throw some signal to them that whatever they are doing, they should never, underestimate these players. Any player who have been signed by a football club is not shitty as sometimes they tend to let us know. Everybody who is here is a fantastic player. And who thought Chelsea without their defenders? Most of our defenders were not in this game, and our key player Kopama wasn't here. But at the end of the day, this boy were showing some class. Look at the mentality. Look at how they went into the game. And one thing I also encourage Maresca to do is we shouldn't even wait for our opponent to always bring the game to us. Anytime we take the game to our opponent, we seem to outclass them. Look at the game against PSG. Look at the game against Liverpool today, the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes. This is what they have to be doing against some of the low blocks because sometimes we underestimate some of these low blocks, and whenever we go in, they tend to flip the tables and we are on the disadvantage side. So after this game, Maresca should sit down, make sure that whenever we are playing most of these teams, we have to go out there, take the games to them because nobody thought this Chelsea squad, this youngsters will come. Even Gittins, who is not having the best season, was showing some glimpses that he's a fantastic player. So I think today's game was a very good game. And when they are going to the international break, they have to be very careful with their national team. And if possible, if their various coaches can rest them, and if the game is not that necessary, and they will let them to like take a break, it will help our squad because we don't want a situation where Estava will come back with an injury. Already we have a long list of players who are on the injury list. So if he is also coming back with an injury, that will be the worst thing we'll ever experience. And I've also noticed something. I think if all the players are back, maybe starting from next season, and we compare them according to how they perform in each and every game, that would be perfect because nobody thought Badia Show, who has been so sloppy lately, could have become one of the best players in today's game. If you look at him today, he was a total player and total different player. And I was wondering, hey, is it the player people were saying that we should just let him go? And I think that him playing with a champion was something good. So if Maresca will pair that too. And I believe Chaloba also feel comfortable playing with Kowo. So in the future, if you think Kowo and Chaloba will be the best pairing, that will also be fantastic. So that at the end of the day, we can have like three different pairings, and whenever some pair is not there, the other pair can just take over. And I believe today's game
Yeah.
was a clear indication that
Yeah.
sometimes we have to be very careful the way we
Yeah.
criticize our players.
Bradford, just quickly. Dante, I want to come to you. I don't know if you want to come in, Tony, but Dante, if you're there, the question I want to ask you is this: you heard Bradford talk about how we usually do better against teams when we attack them. The fact is this: I think the reason why it is like that. It comes down to how the opposition apply themselves on the pitch or how they play overall. Dante, let's say your thoughts to help me break down why it is like that. In my opinion, generally down to how the opposition play. If they uh, play high line or if they don't defend deep, usually makes it a lot easier for us. But that's my opinion. Let's hear your thoughts on that, Dante.
Yeah, first of all, everything Banfandino said, yeah, spot on.
You don't have to agree with him, you know, right?
Yeah, look, that's amazing
Coach
stuff he
really
said.
wants us to fight Dante, so make sure you're
That's why we have a
make
show. We all don't
make,
have to agree.
make sure you're very contentious, okay?
Yeah, look,
Go ahead.
it comes down to space. Very simply comes down to space. You don't have that space against low blocks teams like that. They're set up completely different. Liverpool are not set up like that. There is space that some of their forwards don't really get back as much. So you've got those one-on-one opportunities. Very big difference against low blocks. You can't always, and we do have the possession against low blocks. We always have 60% possession pretty much every game. It's just how you attack. We're very good against teams like Liverpool when there is space, one-on-ones, etc. We do very well. We're still a little bit struggle against low blocks, as we've seen. I think we've gotten better at it, but we still have a few little issues which we need to sort out. But yeah, it's a very simple answer. It's just space. There's no space to play like that, and you can't always be on the front foot every single time and attack. Even today, Estevao, I know what you said about Estevao, amazing player, but I would start Neto over Estevao in a game like this just because you saw the work rate of Neto coming back, winning defensive duels in the back half of the field. Estevao's is more of a bit more. He works, but he's not into it defensively like a Neto is. So you need someone
Not
that can run up
excellent
and down.
defensively, yeah.
Yeah, you need someone that can run up and down. Hence, Gusto played in that role. Neto played in that role. These players, even Garnacho, actually, very surprising. He did very well today, going up and down defensively, coming back as well, quite a lot. So, yeah, I think I get the Estevao one, but I just think maybe not quite 100% ready. Like you said, Maresca, trust Maresca. He sees him at training every time. He gets the tactics spot on pretty much every game, most of those games. In a game like this, I would have to agree with Maresca. I would have started Neto as well because of the work rate and how quick they are on those wings, Liverpool, especially to counter attack. And you saw Neto, I think he was brilliant today again. Didn't do that much, but defensively and just the work
He
rate,
was
he was very, very good again.
I just want to chip in something, and if you talk about Estavao's defensive ability, probably if you pay attention, you will see him tracking back. He's one player who always go and come back. There was a ball
I
he
think it comes
intercepted.
down to the manager's demand from the
Yeah,
player.
Yeah,
there
there
is
was a
he does
ball
track back. I've
like
seen him, but
yeah,
there's difference between tracking back and intent in defending.
yeah,
He
like
doesn't have the
he
defensive
was
side. He doesn't
fantastic
got that
with one of
intent to go for tackles and really go in. Like
no
it's
like
Oh,
of
hold on,
there
very
was
hold on,
a
different
hold
from
on,
Neto the
Bafadiho.
way they
Hold on. Let's
defend.
hear Dante. We'll come back to you. Go ahead, Dante.
okay.
Oh no, sorry, I thought you guys heard me. Yeah, just the way the intent is there, but he's not doesn't have that defensive intent like Neto does. Put in those extra routes, those extra runs. He makes it look like that. Estevao is a bit of a luxury player. He's a bit still a bit young, as we know, but he's more of a luxury, skillful player, impact player, and I think he's much more suited to bring him on when those defense is tired. Then you can really shine his game like
He
again he
can
did today.
really impose himself.
Yeah, but you bring him from the start, he's going to run a lot more, and that is going to impact him as the game goes on. Because in a game like this, where Liverpool they like to play side, ping pong, back forth, he has to do way more running than he normally does, and I don't think he quite has that yet in him to do that in the Premier League. It will come with time, but I trust Maresca. That's why he's not quite starting him in these games. And I would against low blocks, 100% you start him, no problem. Games like this, I prefer a Neto 100% in my opinion.
Yeah, where we need help defensively. Let's say you were saying something, Banfo. You were going to say something. I just had to
Yeah,
ask you to hold on so that
no problem.
Dante will
Yeah,
finish with his thoughts. Yeah.
yeah. What I was saying is, if maybe you compare the two players, the only thing I think Neto is ahead of Estevao is experience because Estevao is just coming to Europe for the first time, but everything he possesses is really effective. I saw a situation where he was able to intersect the ball within the box. No player will just dare do that because sometimes you can even go and infringe somebody and it will go against your team. But this guy was so bold enough and he was able to intersect the ball and he was able to create some chances. And talk of the low blocks, you need somebody like Estevao who reduce the defense of your opposing team because he's somebody who can take on a lot of players. So anytime you put him in a game like that, although they might try to pack the defense, he's somebody who can just meander his way into the box and create a lot of chances for you to score. So if a player like that is on the bench and you are having difficulties and Neto is not providing that or Ganacho is not providing that, I believe he should be able to, play. But as Coachila was saying, sometimes it's boiled down to the tactics of the coach. And I always tell people that the coach who is working with the boys is more familiar and he knows why sometimes he decides to sit a player down. We are not close to the team and we can never decide who should play and who shouldn't play. Maybe we see things like football fans, but technically the coach will decide who is perfect for a certain game. And whatever Maresca did today really worked. I was hoping that we were not going to throw this game away so that people would just come on him because I believe the project that we are doing, he is the right person for the project. And so far, he has done so well maintaining the winning ways and everything. Somebody who came in just less than 2 years, he has been able to win the Conference League, win the Club World Cup, and he is progressing. So I believe that he is doing a lot. But also for not Estevao to be so rusty, I believe he has to play more games. The boy has to play more because the more you are playing, the more you'll be more fluid and you'll be more active. But if he's not playing enough games, that could also affect, you know, his performance. So, I don't think Neto is far better than Estevao. They are all good. The only thing Neto is ahead of Estevao, to be honest with you, is the experience. But whatever Neto can do, Estevao could do it better. And that's how I feel. And also somebody like this guy, Malo Gusto. He is also a player. He has been coming under so many pressure from the fan base. And if you are a Chelsea fan listening to me right now, you got to be careful because this guy could just go to a different club and he'll be making a whole lot of good impact in that football club. He's not a bad player, as sometimes people will let you believe. Just that sometimes things doesn't go the way they want it to go. And I've also seen something that I think it normally affects our team. When there is a build up, I don't know why Sanchez will waste a lot of time for him to go under pressure. Then, in terms of like clearing the ball, he will be making a whole lot of mistake. It's something I really don't understand up to date, because sometimes he has a whole lot of time to give a meaningful pass and also be decisive on the ball, but he will waste a lot of time and he will be cornered into the 18-yard box. And sometimes he is not quickly clearing the area. It has affected us so much. Most of the like I would say, in the previous seasons, there were so many instances he threw the ball to the opponents and they were able to like utilize on that. It's something they have to work on it. And also Gui, I think he's also a very good player. Like today when he came in, he was also able to make an impact. Somebody like Lavia also is something we need to just be grateful for him. If Lavia should be fit throughout the season, I think he will bring a lot of creativity inside the midfield. He was somebody who avoided, like he blocked the Liverpool attack, all the threat that was supposed to come to the defense. Somebody like Lavia and Caicedo were the ones who were doing all the dirty work. Other than that, we could have been in a serious trouble. And he's somebody we need to manage his playing time and also manage how fit he will be for the season. And Coachila, there is something
Yes.
about the medical team people are not paying attention. And I believe people will say that the medical teams are not in charge of players, injuries and other things. I don't know the reason why we always come into a season and will be ending the season with a lot of injury players. This is something that is bothering me, and I don't know if it has to do with the medical team, or there is something that is going on during the training session. Because every time we seem to have a very good running, there will be injury situation that will retrogress, our efforts,
Yeah.
and it's something we have to look at it. If it's coming from the medical team, they need to do something better for the team, because
Yeah.
you can't afford to have all your center backs on the injury list. That is very, very serious thing. And I don't know how we are going to go into the next game without any of the center backs. It's something they have to, you know, have a critical look at it and see where the problem is coming from. But all in all, I think the team really did a good job, and everybody has to be, be recommended for the good performance they put up today.
All right. Thank you so much for that contribution there, Bafadino. Tony, I don't know anything you want to add or want us to discuss. Well, I think we're out of topic. In all honesty, we can see. I don't want us to start looking at the rating. You can say stats for each player. I think we're good. Well, I think we've covered pretty much. We've talked enough to talked about the game for 1 hour 52 minutes. 53 minutes. I get it. It mixed with other topics, but that's fine. But Tony, anything else you want us to talk about, or you have
Yeah.
new topic? Let's
Yeah,
see.
no, I have several notes that I just wanted to rapid fire. But
Go ahead.
first and foremost, I just wanted to say I completely and totally disagree with Dante about every single thing.
Thank
I'm
you.
no, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to do that for Coach's birthday to make him feel good.
Happy birthday.
Thank
That's
you.
your
Oh, he
Thank
wants
present,
us
you.
bro.
to fight so much.
No, but go ahead, Tony.
No, a couple of rapid points. I need to go way back. The just real quick, rapid fire. One is, we were talking about Lavia and like his frame and muscular. James. We compared them, but I think one comparison that I wanted to make was, James used to be a lot bulkier too. And if you've noticed, not only have they nursed him well, but he has lost a lot of bulk and weight, and he's
Yeah,
gotten more
definitely.
chiseled and slender, and we're not seeing his knees and his hamstrings like take on what they used to have to take on when he's, because he's so powerful and
Mhm.
he's so forceful. And I just remember thinking, he is just a big boy. I mean, not, just muscular, not like, beefy or anything, just muscular. And I just remember thinking, like, I wonder if like his hamstrings are like, dude, like I know, like you want to run like a speedster, but you're built like a brick, what house, you know what I mean? And so it's
Mhm.
like, but once they kind of slimmed him down and they kind of got him on some different training. I don't know if it was a diet thing, but you notice in the past couple years he's been a lot more slender, and we're seeing him go. So I just wonder if they're kind of working on that with Lavia, if he's going to start slimming down and becoming more toned, and you're going to see maybe something similar there, and maybe that's why he keeps re-injuring. But I'll tell you what, man, Lavia, if he can stay fit, oh my gosh, what a dynamic threat to have in the midfield. He just and as soon as he came on, we were just talking about like, man, why is everybody afraid? Like Palmer's not here, so we just don't we're not doing through balls today. Is that what's happening? And as soon as Lavia came on, I said, watch, here's somebody who likes to make incisive through ball passes. And sure enough, he just started turning and just sending bullets up the middle, and they were already tired, and then you put Estevao on top of that. I really like what Lavi's going to bring. I really hope he can slim down some, and we can keep him fit, because my God, like just having him and Caicedo and Enzo in a midfield, or even just really him and anybody, him and Caicedo, like, it's just like he's just very versatile in there. They all have their own strengths, yeah, but man, he's such a good he has such good vision from the midfield. He really
Yeah, he
uh
does.
kind of brings everything, from the back all the way up to the final third. He really bridges that connection. Like, yeah, he's just a profile that
I mean,
like he
it
he
would be
can
correct just to say,
deputize he can
yeah,
deputize for Caicedo, but we don't have a profile quite like him.
he's
He's
unique.
unique.
He's capable of beating the
Yep.
press,
Yep. Yes.
capable of orchestrating defense, splitting passes.
Yes.
Defensively, he reads the game very well. He can
Mm-hmm.
cut off passing lanes for the oppositions.
Yep.
He's a complete midfielder, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy. It's just that he just needs to stay fit. That is
Yes,
that.
yeah. So hopefully maybe we
Yeah.
would slim him down or something and just get him a little more tone. Maybe it'll be easier on, his extremities and his limbs and stuff, and maybe we can kind of keep his muscles fit and things like that. The next thing I want to address real quick is um I'm probably gonna butcher this. McKean or Mackin made a comment about seeing Giyu come on that you addressed, and I made a note
Oh,
about that
Martin New.
because, yeah, he had said, does that mean the rumors are put to bed? And I just wanted to kind of make it clear to everybody that the deal with Giyu's loan was if we recalled him and he played 1 minute of football, we could not loan him back out in January. So just to be clear, now that he's played today,
He's not
yeah,
going
those
back.
rumors are done. Like he's gonna stay here the rest of the season because we're not gonna be able to loan him back out now. So I just wanted to clear that up for
Yeah,
anybody.
thank you
Um,
for bringing that up. Go ahead if
yeah,
you were still speaking.
yeah. And then I wanted to touch on Maresca because you had mentioned a while back that a lot of people, questioning him and just saying, well, I don't know if he's cut out for the Premier League and things like that. And I'm just like, here's where I am. I'm just like, if he's not, then who is? Because right now we're in a transitional moment. Yeah, like Klopp is not here anymore. Okay, Pep, we might see a resurgence, but for all intents and purposes, he might really be on the decline now. You might actually be seeing the twilight of Pep's career. I'm not quite sure yet. I don't want to make that holistic claim, but there are signs there. I mean, he could be on the downtrend, yeah. And so who does that leave? Like, there's Oliver Glasner. He's come up and coming. You got Thomas Frank. Like, he's a good
By
manager.
the
He's
way,
up and
Crystal Palace
coming.
haven't lost a single game.
Yeah, and so these are kind of like these. these new guys, like maybe they're going to be the next generation. Like, why can't Maresca be right in there with them? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like he's not cut out for the Premier League. Well, what's the standard now? I mean, you know, like who is making
He
that
already
kind
is,
of, the
Tony.
people that making that kind of claim are just bananas, because it's just like, if you ask me, for a coach to really have his coming of age at the top level and really just kick on and make a name for himself, I think the table is set for Maresca. You could be looking at Glasner and Thomas Frank and Maresca being the next big man. And I mean, yeah, there's on a slot, but I mean, you know, they're in a slump right now. Again, don't want to call anything too soon, but we still need to see. If you give him a
I have to
team
say
filled
something
with
quickly.
Galacticos,
Actually,
can
Slot
he
hasn't convinced
actually
me.
cut it outside of Feyenoord? Or is he just working with the table that Klopp set for him, and he's not going to be able to do it his own way? I think the jury's still out on him. So for anyone to look at the current landscape and say
I
he's
agree.
not up to Premier League level, like, by what standard? Like, we are really in a big time transitional point as far as managers in the Premier League right now.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Dante, let me ask you this. Are you convinced by Slot? I'm not. I'm not quite convinced.
No, not quite. Like just like Tony said as well. Yeah, did okay at Feyenoord. Came pretty much inherited the team. Continued exactly. Didn't change nothing really, to be honest. Pretty much continued everything the same sort of style. Pretty much everything same players. Didn't really change much. This season he's tried to change up a little bit, and it hasn't worked at all. With new players, some new players as well. So definitely not. No, he's
It doesn't look like he's tactically versatile.
no, he's not. He's not as much, nowhere near as Maresca's like that. No, definitely not. And just to add to Tony, yes, Maresca's already in that conversation because he finished top four last season. So there's top four coaches in the Premier League. Won the Club World Cup, which outclassed the manager of the year basically. So even the Conference League, I won't mention the Conference League, but anyway, we still did it. We still beat Real Betis, where everyone's saying, no, you're not outclassing his former mentor. There's no way he's outclassing him. We're gonna
Yeah, that
get.
he's gonna. I have some receipts saved actually.
Yes, I have
Yep.
receipts on that as well. There's no way he's outclassing his former mentor in Pellegrini. Betis will wipe the floor with us. No chance. No, that did not happen. So yes, I think he's already in that conversation. He's one of the top managers in the Premier League already, just because where he finished last season top four and winning those two trophies, and losing a couple of games, 10 men. That's not. That's like
Yeah.
that's just unlucky. Today we had 11 men on the field, and we've basically, I think we outplayed Liverpool today. I think we played much better than them, and we definitely deserve to win the game today. Liverpool were actually a bit lucky with that goal they scored anyway, with the touch and that. They only had two shots on target. Liverpool didn't create that much. They weren't that threatening, to be honest. Cucurella did his best. Again, shut down Mohamed Salah completely, pretty much.
Mm.
We were all over him. We deserve to win that clearly, that 3
And
points. So,
I go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, so I'm just saying, Maresca's already there. For me, he's already in that top managers in the Premier League already, 100%.
And I just wanted to add another thing, is just like, let's be honest here. Maresca didn't inherit someone else's team like some of these
No,
people have. Yeah.
he had like 10,
Like,
11,
are
12
some
players,
of
new
these
players. Yeah.
guys here from the past few years? Yeah. Okay. Cucurella is here. Um, there's a handful of guys that have been here for a few years. The only player left from the Champions League squad now that I believe, now that Chilwell's gone, is Reece James. Okay. And
I
so
think
ever
it's
since
Justin. You're
then,
correct.
you've
Just
had,
Reese, correct. Yeah.
and ever since then, you've had, I don't know, man. It's there. I've lost count of how many managers, but how many chopping and changing, selling, loaning. He's not going to work. Let's bring him in. Let's get this guy in. Oh, we've got this guy, but he doesn't start till next year. He's got to stay with his club until then. And oh, we've got these people, but we're going to loan them to Strasbourg, and then they're coming next year. It's just all of these things. Like, everything that's here is a combination of some of Maresca, but our sporting director hierarchy piecemealing this team together based on data and stats. This isn't like, oh, this team did something incredible and now we're just going to pass the torch to you, like with Liverpool, or this is the team that won the Europa League, and it's, well, we won't talk about that because I mean they beat a really poor Tottenham, beat a really poor United, and that was Oh, what's his name? What's his name's team? Oh, Dante, you should know him. He's from your parts. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh,
But but
Postecoglou, Angie.
yes, thank you. Yeah, and but I mean, Frank has all that, and he got a couple extra weapons. But I mean, last year and this year, this is not anything he is building it with Chelsea, and he's still doing this. So I think there's something to be said there too. This is not like, hey man, this is a ready-made squad ready to go, so we're just gonna hand you the reins and we think you can carry it. No, like he has had a big part in shaping this team, in teaching them his tactics and his way and his system, and in helping to form this team and being here while the team was formed. And so that's something a lot of people sleep on too. Nothing was really handed to him, and he's still doing this thing and these things. And I want to say one more thing, like um again, this may have been mentioned here, but this is really important. Like, I wish I could just broadcast this to the entire Chelsea fandom, but this is really important. And I want to make sure I don't get this right. I can't remember. Oh, we've in the past. Okay, Byron. Yes, in the past 6 months, I believe maybe it's 5 months. In the past 5 or 6 months, we have lost one match. We've lost 5 matches, but 4 of those matches we had 10 men. There's only one match we lost with 11 men, and that was against Bayern Munich. And if you go back a little bit further, the only other match we lost with 11 men was when we lost 1-0 to Arsenal back at the end of last year. I think that was in March. So let's just say since March, we have lost 6 matches since March, and 4 of those were with 10 men. Okay. And then these people online lose their minds when we string a
Yeah.
couple losses together. Like, we win the Club World Cup and they're like, oh, we're going for it all. Let's win the league. Let's win the Champions League. Let's do it. Who's going to stop us? And then we lose, 2 matches in a row. And it's just like, they're just shit in the bed. It's just like, oh, what? Oh, it's over. I knew he needed to be gone. I told you, and it's like, what? And then we win today and beat Liverpool and the way that we did it. And now they're right back on the, well, yeah, like we've got really got something to build here. I mean, we have the most
Yes,
reactionary.
and you wouldn't hear from
Find a
some of
more
them.
reactionary
You're
fan
not
base
going to
for
hear from
me in
some of
all of
them.
sports than Chelsea Football Club. Find
Yeah.
one. That's my challenge. But the point is, if you look at the big picture, yeah, there are some slumps that happen, okay? And it's like, but 1 out of 6 matches since March, 4 of those lost, we're down to 10 men. And that leads me to my last point, and that is, here's something everybody keeps forgetting. I don't know why, but it's just it's just like, why do people not nobody wants to take into account the fatigue? I mean, if we've talked about this, but again, it's like, if you look at, we went the distance in the Club World Cup, and then we had no preseason. We had 2 quick games on the bounce, and then immediately right into the season, and somehow we draw with Crystal Palace, and then we start doing really well, and we're like, okay. And I had said, like, hey, be ready. There's going to be more injuries because, footballers are not meant to play year round. Like, this is insane. And I'm glad we won the Club World Cup. I wouldn't trade that, because we completed the set. And I mean, those bragging rights are pretty killer. And we get to rub that in people's faces for 3 more years. But, like, there's a cost that comes with that to the body. And so people are saying, like, I don't know about the medical team or, like, what's going on. It's like, the medical team is great. They brought Reece James back. They're trying to bring Lavia back. We had less injuries last year, and I wish I could give you an exact count. Like, I got to do my homework a little better. But I know that we had less injuries last year than we had the 3 previous seasons. We were just riddled with injuries. What was different about last year? We replaced our medical team, and they're there. This year, why are we getting all these injuries? It's cause and effect. It's because of all the football. You can look at sporting directors and say, why didn't you plan for this? Why didn't you get another CB? Why didn't you get another striker? Okay, fine, hindsight. But the fact of the matter is, we are having this many injuries And it's coming back to haunt us because of all the football played in no time off. I mean, it's just, you can't make people invincible. And, I don't want to scare anybody, but it's like, I really hope Lavia comes back now, because if we can't give Lavia some rest, yeah, and Jão Pedro, you're already seeing it with him. He's absolutely cooked, and I believe he's playing through some mild to moderate pain because we just haven't had a choice. So it's like, if we could give Jão Pedro and Caicedo just some real adequate time to rest, where they don't have to come in and save the day or anything, we can spare them. But my fear is it's just like, these guys, I don't think they're that far away from being fully cooked. I mean, you're seeing it in Jão Pedro's body. And yes, there's some questions about the service that he's getting, but he looks lethargic. It's not because he was a one-hit wonder or he was good for a few. There is a player in there. He's going to be, he's absolutely cooked. Like, we absolutely, and he didn't have a holiday. He kept training on holiday, trying to wait for a move. Then he came right in the Club World Cup, and now we're using him every game because the lap's out. And you can see it, and you're gonna start to see I mean, Caicedo's superhuman, but you're gonna start to see the lethargy in him if we can't give him a break because his backup's injured. And so my point is, in all this is, I'm so tired of people just, like, not giving us a break. We lose a couple games together or several people get injured. It's just like, if you didn't expect this after you saw the amount of football these guys have played and continue to play, I don't know what to tell you. I can't tell you anything else. You're just not going to get it. You're literally just looking for reasons
Mhm.
to complain, and it's just like, but all things considered, injuries considered, and today was a huge statement to consider in the midst of all the injuries. Uh, Maresca is an outstanding manager. I like to coin an old phrase I heard once, like, he's pretty good at turning chicken shit into chicken salad, like, he's really good at making the most of a mess. And
Never
uh
heard that one.
it's pretty American of me. I apologize. Yeah, but
You
like,
don't have to.
yeah,
Feel at home,
his
man. Leave
Yeah,
Dante
you're allowed to
alone.
be American. Don't worry
yeah,
about it.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's what we say. It's just like, he makes the most out of a mess a lot of times, and he deals, all things considered. I mean, has he got a few things wrong? Of course. But my God, like, look at what he's dealing with. Look at the injuries. Look at how much football's been played. Look at the weight that's on him and the expectation. And it's just like, and these people, like, one or two losses, and it's just like, it's all over, and
Hmm.
I'm sure a lot of them are doing it because it's pretty clear. Like, if you look at social media algorithms, like, you get much, much higher reactions from negativity than you do from positivity.
Oh yeah.
um so we kind of have to consider that as well. Like, some of these people, I think they're just business people, I guess, but others, they're just children. It's just like, people,
Yeah.
we are barely into October. Yes, we have a lot of injuries, but these guys are still fighting. A lot of them are coming of age. A lot of them are coming through. And now, thankfully, we have an international break. So maybe we can get a few guys back with a little more rest. We have to cross our fingers that we don't have the typical international break where we don't have any South Americans available to us for a week because they flew like 3 times further than everyone else, and that we don't have more injuries to deal with after, because now they're going to play international football. It's just bananas to me. But I mean, if we get more injuries, it's gonna suck. But no one should be surprised. No one should act like, oh my God, what's going on here? What's happening? We're
Yeah,
cooked. We're
Tony, and
screwed. It's
a little bit of
yeah. Sorry,
proof.
go ahead.
PSG is a bit of proof of that as well because they have like 8 to 10 injuries, exactly the same as us.
And they made
Yep,
it to the final.
yep,
Yes,
yeah, yes,
yes. Hmm.
yes. And but to that end, we weren't completely cooked quite yet. We still kind of had our end of season form, and we went through that, and we weren't quite overspent at that point. And so what you saw against PSG is, you like, a lot of our best players got to sit a little bit in some of those opening rounds because Maresca was trying to figure out I mean, that was basically his preseason, right? Like, the opening rounds of the Club World Cup, because he got new players in. He was trying to see what he was working with. He was experimenting a little because he had to know what to do. And that loss against Flamengo, like, that was that was a byproduct of experimentation because it was a heavily
And a red
rotated side.
card
But
again.
by the time we get to
Yeah, a red
PSG,
card. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And by the time we get to PSG, um, he's like, I think these are my best 11. And they were rested and they weren't cooked yet. And look what happened. This is a team that's capable of absolutely decimating PSG when they're all fit and firing. So we just have to cross our fingers, pray to God there's no more injuries, and we but if there are, we have to weather the storm, and we just have to let
And
everybody
add
get back and
Liverpool to
get
that as
fit,
well.
and yeah.
You can
But
definitely
I'm
add
not
Liverpool to
having
that
it.
as
I'm
well now.
tired of
So
people like coming after this team and coming after the coach. If we have a couple of, bad results, it's like there are reasons, there are factors. And the one thing that these reactionary this is the last thing I'll say and I'll shut up. The one thing that these reactionary people constantly leave out is context. There's never any it's just like in the here and now, like, well, this person didn't score any goals, so he sucks. Well, we lost today, so we suck. Well, Maresca got this one substitution wrong, so he sucks. And it's just like
Mhm.
like they leave the context out. There's so much there's so many layers to this. They leave so much context out and they don't look at the big picture. And because I like to think that I do, and I think that you do, and I think that Dante does, and I'm just saying that because we're all here. I mean, I listen repeatedly. I think we get it. We understand that there's context here. And so I think if you consider the context and you look at the 30,000-foot view, and yes, the SDs have messed up a little bit too. But if you look at the 30,000-foot view, Maresca and this team are working wonders with what they have in the hand they've been dealt. So yeah, I'm 1,000%. You better be sure as shit. I'm gonna back them after what I've seen.
Yeah. I'm gonna do
well said.
this quickly. Dante, I will catch up with what we have in the chat. Come back to the panel. No, but Fadiho is still there. But this is something I wanted to ask you. Uh, Jão Pedro, he's you could say his form has dropped a bit, and that's not down to him being a bad player. For me, I think it's down to like a proper balance. You will see him isolated at certain times in the game, which is because, but a player like Cole Palmer usually plays in a manner that it plays him into the game, for lack of a more specific or more relatable language. But I'll come back to the panel. I want to hear your thoughts on how his form has dropped. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but his form definitely has dropped. Maybe I'm not looking beyond the fact that you could say he hasn't scored in how many games? Not too many games, actually. Maybe that's the reason, but I'll hear your thoughts in a bit. And Hamza, nice to see you. Thank you for joining the conversation. And Sonny Mark, Moises Caicedo, he was excellent today, and that goal was delicious. Big up to you, Nkrumah Muda. Nice to see you. He thinks Matisse is one of his fans anyway. Peter Connor says you're not winning the league. I haven't told you we're going to win the league, and I don't think anybody on the panel have said we're going to win
Who
the
in
league.
God's name is saying that?
Exactly. And is it a possibility? Still a possibility, as long as it's still mathematically possible. Never say never. You never know. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that we're going to win the Club World Cup? Who's going to play their role? I think you're referring to something I can't quite relate to. Yeah, but that's by the way, Dante. Let's hear you. Jão Pedro, what do you think is the issue right now? For me, I think probably like a proper balance in the attacking area. He gets isolated. Others in the attacking area don't play
Yeah.
to play him in. I don't know. That's my opinion, but let's hear you.
Yeah, look, in this game specifically, obviously not really playing with a 10. We were more of a 4-3-3 in the build up, more fluid approach. He was dropping more into that 10. And yes, he didn't have, like you said, it's all about balance there. He didn't really have that attacking option right in behind him, because even Enzo Fernández was playing a bit deeper, making runs late, but he was playing deeper. So he didn't have that outlet. He didn't have that guy to just lay the ball back to like a number 10 behind him, Palmer, or if someone was playing there. So he had to do a lot of work himself. And in that sense, he had to run a lot more today. You see him running. He was closing down. He was pressing because we were pressing a bit higher. So he had to do a lot more kilometers today running. And that's why you don't see that impact of him today as much. I think before that, I think the other games he did pretty well. Like he still got assists and he still was involved in the goals. So yeah, just today, and I thought that might be the case, the way we're playing. He might be the one to, suffer a bit today and struggle and do a lot more running, a lot more closing down, keep those central defenders busy as well. But not having that guy in behind him to link up with and lay the ball off, he had to drop a lot back into that position as well. So he was basically doing two roles, 10 and striker. So he was working very hard. So if you watched him, because I watched him a little bit closely, he was breathing a bit hard because he was running a lot. And when you do that, you take the other side out of the game. Now that's a sacrifice I'm sure Maresca was happy to make, because that
And I
was
think
part of the
probably
plan.
Jão Pedro will understand.
Of course he'll understand. He's a team player, and he play for the team, and that's a sacrifice he needed to make, and it worked because the more 4-3-3 fluid approach, Gusto, James in there, Caicedo, even gave Caicedo a little bit of room to go up with Enzo a little bit more since he saw that goal. Caicedo got through a bit more forward because James wasn't going that much forward. He was sitting a bit more back, and you had Gusto covering there. They gave a bit of freedom to Caicedo to go sometimes a little bit forward, and that's where you saw that goal. And he had another really good shot as well on target as well. So, basically a bit of a sacrifice, João Pedro today, but down more to him working hard and not doing anything spectacular, because that was not really part of his game today to do that, in my opinion. So I think that's why you didn't see too much from him. He was working very hard though. He was chasing and covering a lot of
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, Jão Pedro. I look. I'm a Jão Pedro believer. I'm a Jão Pedro super fan, and yeah, of course, he won me over in the beginning there when he was doing a lot. But again, context. I have to like he's played so much football. Like he's so tired. But it's like Delap just went down at the worst time. It's like who's gonna do his job for him? Like for Jão Pedro. Like I hear people say. I've heard a lot of people say, well, it's pretty clear, like, maybe we're seeing the end of this, this nine experiment with Jao Pedro, because clearly he works better, in the 10 spot, maybe behind the main striker. And while that could be true, but I just think that, like, even if he is in the nine, I mean, we saw him kill it there too, in the Club World Cup. We saw it in the first couple of games. He's just I mean, I think this guy can play the nine or the 10. I'm still on board with we can slot him in the nine. He's just really spent. And I think if we can get Giyu in there, I mean, because even if Giyu doesn't score goals, that would be great, But like, even if he's young and doesn't, he's a big boy and he gets himself about, and it's just a completely different
And
dynamic
his pressing
for
is
teams
excellent.
for teams to deal with when you have a body in there occupying defenders, because that's just
Exactly.
somebody else they have to worry about. No one's like floating outside of the box when they're a full on like traditional nine. Like Giyu's going in there and he's like shouldering up to these guys is like, guess what? You got to deal with me now too. And it just gives them something else to worry about, and it gives us a different look. And if we can start playing Giyu a little bit more, yeah. And look, Dante, I know like obviously Maresca's been working with George as a nine, but I mean, I just think he's better on the wing, and it's like if Giyu can come in and occupy that space and let Jao Pedro just rest a little bit. I mean, my goodness,
I
like.
agree. I agree. But you did hear what Maresca said about Guy, basically, in the interviews. He did say he came in the first couple of weeks why he didn't play. He wasn't
Right,
training. He wasn't training as well the first couple of weeks.
right,
So
right, 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 right. But
yes,
now that he's brought him on, and I think he did make a little bit of an impact. Like he was making a lot of runs, he was getting about, he
yeah,
was
yeah,
getting
yeah.
amongst it, he was
I
occupying
think you'll
people.
see him going forward
But
from now on. But
but if
Maresca
we
made it
if
clear
we c-
because someone asked him at the interview last press conference why hasn't really played him much because of like you mentioned earlier, because of the cup tie. If you play,
right,
he goes, no, no, no. He's been fantastic, but the first
hmm
couple of weeks after joining us, he came back
hmm
and he wasn't quite training as well, so that's why he hasn't played. This week
hmm
he's been training very well, and he's got a chance to play, and he did. He
yeah,
came on today.
yeah, that's great, and I'm hoping that continues, because the more he can play, and I mean, God, especially if he could just go. uh I don't know, 70 to 90 minutes, like, and just let Jao Pedro actually rest. Like, we just need to refresh that guy, because and maybe that's what we'll get over the international break. I don't know how much Brazil's planning on
He's not
using
going to
him.
Brazil, so he's staying
Oh,
back.
good. I
Yeah,
hadn't heard that
he's.
one yet.
I think
Good, good, good.
probably on papers,
So
realizing
this
that he
dude,
spent like the language you use. I think he was
yeah,
he left out on papers.
I think well is and again like I don't know if he has a niggling injury or anything. I thought I heard that at once. I still
He
need to
does. He
confirm
does.
that.
Yep.
So if he can just rest and have this whole international break, and even when we come back, if we're playing, all respect to whatever team like lesser opposition, and we're comfortable putting Guiu in there and really just I mean, yeah. I think if he's fully rested and ready to go, like you're gonna see exactly what you saw from him in the Club World Cup and in the first part of the season. He's just spent right now, and there are games he was supposed to sit or mostly rest before the lap went down. And people, forget that. And now they're just like, oh, Jao Pedro's all the way from extreme is like he's past it or he's not doing it now to like, man, like, why has he dropped off? I mean, for me, it's pretty clear. And I think he can operate in the 9 or the 10. And I think he
No,
can
he
do them
can. He can
both
do both.
really
But if
well,
he plays in the ninth position, there has to be somebody like you can say that Cole
Yeah, yeah,
Palmer,
yeah. Somebody,
who
yeah, he's got to,
that
yep,
plays. Yeah,
bring him into the
you can
game.
say
But you
that.
know what else?
Mhm.
Somebody said this earlier. Uh, I can't remember. Maybe it was Nini that said it, but they were saying that like Jao Pedro and Estevao work off each other really well too. So there's a connection there from
Yeah, those two too.
Brazil.
Yeah.
But like if you have Jao Pedro and again he's rested and fit and he's up at top and you have Estevao on the right wing, I think you're gonna see Pedro brought in the game a lot more as well too. And the only other thought I have is like Pedro Neto, like he is an absolute demon. He's an absolute workhorse. He's a speedster. I mean, look, he's close to burnout too. And so, but for me, it's just like if everyone's fit, yeah, I love Estival, but you have to start Pedro Neto. Like you have to. He's too vital. It's too many runs. His work rate's too good. His vision is good. He puts devastating crosses in. He's good for the occasional goal. He's just very smart and intelligent, and the pressing and he again. I talked about Gusto during when we played PSG, but just a side note, like Pedro Neto, like locking down Hakimi. Uh,
Yeah, a selfless performance
and
from him that on that day.
but I mean, so just defensively, yeah. So if they're all fit and firing, I mean, yeah, I think if they're all fit at this point, I think Garnacho's starting to come on. We'll see what happens with him. But I mean, if you give me the choice, I start Esteval and Pedro Neto. I put Neto on the left if he's fit because he can operate fine over there, and Esteval on the right, and that might be your strongest wingers right now. But I'm not. For me, Pedro Neto, a fit and rested Pedro Neto is still at the top of the list of wingers for me. Um, yeah, and then obviously you play Palmer in there in the half spaces and things like that if he's fit. But yeah, I just want to say that I'm a little bit biased, but I wanted to stick my neck out for Pedro Neto and for João Pedro as well. Like
No,
the
I'm not
Pedros,
concerned. Yeah.
I think if
That,
they're fit and they're rested and like you gotta they're nailed on like they're in our best 11, so.
yeah, I'm not concerned. I'm just trying to figure out what has led to that. You could say dropping the sort of you can say the measure of performance we're seeing from him since he joined us.
It's tank
Up
invented, man.
big to you
Yeah.
too, Ty. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. And people go and check out Ty's YouTube channel. Please go and check
Mm.
out and subscribe to Ty's YouTube channel, Chelsea Stations. The link provided there. You will not regret it. We have Olushola says that he didn't jump in form. It's just because no Delap and Palmer. Still, I think another time for it will be a drop in form because him not performing at the level. When you're not performing at the level, maybe not necessarily at the level you're expected to perform, but supposed to perform. I think it'd be correct to term that as a drop in form. Thank you, Galatasaray man. There and Ty here says that João Pedro will be glad to have a player to play off of after the international break. Pedro needs a rest. He does need rest, but
100%. Yeah.
yeah, the manager had no option than to
Yeah.
start him.
Yeah. No
I
option.
don't know, Banfordinho, you've been quiet for a while now. You know, you can always interject. Do you have anything
Yeah.
that you want to? You
Sorry,
want
I'm
to?
sorry. Just real quick, I'm
Yeah.
gonna. Sorry, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop off. I need to roll. I apologize, guys.
All
No,
right.
no disrespect. I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother.
No, no,
You go
no, no.
ahead.
We're pretty pissed. We're not happy.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's fight before we go to make your birthday a hit. No, but yeah. No. Happy birthday again, Coach.
Thank you. I
Fantastic
appreciate that.
stream. Big up to you guys, Dante, and oh, tell me the other gentleman's name, man. I keep missing
Banfordinho,
it when you guys say it. What is it?
the New Jersey guy.
Bonfordino, yes, New Jersey. Such good points tonight. Big up to you, man. Really
Big
enjoyed
up.
your input, my friend. But yeah, everybody, much love. Thanks for having me. I just have to
All right,
drop
brother.
off, and
We're
Take care,
I'll
back. We're
try to
Tony.
back for
continue to
good.
listen, but I'm gonna go ahead and go. All right.
All right. But so,
All
Banfordinho,
right.
any questions or anything that you want to talk about before we
No,
call it a day?
I will say that so far I think people are, or maybe you think Jão Pedro is not in the best form right now, but maybe you have a point right there. And also I don't think he's so bad because if
Okay,
you look at
we're talking. You mean yeah, Jão
Jão
Pedro. Yeah,
Pedro.
that's correct. Yeah.
So what I will say is if you look at all the games Jão Pedro scored, Cole Palmer was there, and most of the time I tell people that it takes another player to activate someone's, good performance. So obviously, maybe the absence of Cole Palmer is affecting him in a way. And if you look at his performance, it hasn't been that bad. Most of the games that we play so far, we're playing, not according to how we planned for the whole game. We've considered red card for most of the games, and I think he also considered a red card during the Champions League, game. So let's wait and see. I don't think it has to do with fatigue. Maybe it has to do with fatigue, but I don't think it has to do with fatigue. Kopama is not there. Kopama will usually do all the dirty, work for João Pedro, but this time around, there is no one who is going to create the chances for him, and he's struggling a little bit. But anytime he's on the ball, you can see that he's really good on the ball, and this is something people have to also look at. But if you tell me that he dropped form. I don't think he has dropped form. Just that he hasn't been scoring lately, and we're in a very bad, form in the last 3 games or so. So I hope maybe something will happen and he will rediscover his scoring, abilities. But as it stands right now, he's not scoring goals. But I think everything is okay. If Kopama should come back, I don't know when Kopama will be back, but hopefully maybe after the international break, Kopama is going to be around and everything will be fine. And also, you guys were also talking about how they were playing a lot of games and it has affected them. I think when we say that, probably it's not a good way for the team because back in the days when Drogba and all those guys were here, there wasn't anything like winter break if you remember those days. And during the Christmas season, they could play like 4 matches on a row
But they
in
don't
a
play
week.
as many games in total. In totality, they don't play as many games as
No,
players play these
it will
days.
depend on the competitions you are in. Back in the days, they were having the Carling Cups, the Carling Cup, and I think the FA Cup, and maybe if you are playing Champions League. But what most of the coaches were doing, there were certain games Mourinho will even spoil it for the opposition. Let's say you are playing with Liverpool. Mourinho will choose to bring the academy boys and they will be playing some of the game. That's why maybe Maresca can plan very well and decide who will be playing which game and at what point. Because if maybe these players are going to play all the matches, talk of Carabao, Champions League, I don't know if we are still in the FA Cup and all the other
We're still in all
competitions.
the competition, and by the
Yes,
way, Champions League, the number of games actually have increased.
increase. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you talk about the Champions League, I think there is a new format, and I really don't even understand the new format because it seems they have a very long table, and at the end of the day, they might take 16 out of the table, and they are playing a lot of games. you might be right. But Maresca can just manage the team in a way that there wouldn't be a lot of pressure on certain players because you don't need Caicedo to play with a low block team if you think there is a player who can replace Caicedo in a certain game. But if you think you want to also concentrate on the Premier League and you will let Caicedo play all the Premier League games, you just go ahead and do that because at the end of the day, if you decide to feature them in all the matches, obviously they are going to get tired and probably they are not going to perform very well. So he has to decide. Maybe you give the FA Cup to some of the academy boys and some of the reserves, and also you can give the Carabao Cup to the same academy boys by not even fielding most of our Premier League players. And at the end of the day, it will help. And good enough, we have Bonanotti, he's around. We have Gui coming back. Just throw them in those games and let them do something. But if we concentrate everything on certain players, then I think it's going to be very difficult for the team. And their health is also more important. And maybe I don't want to say that that's the reason why they are getting a lot of injuries or they are breaking out because they are players. They work out every time. This is something they know they have to go through. And I don't think it should be a problem. But in a way, they have to also manage the way they will use them during the season. And I'm so concerned about the injury situation. Maybe it has to do with other options, and a lot of people are saying, like the other gentleman was saying, that maybe it has to do with the matches that they are playing. But I'm also looking at a different angle because I know we used to have some players here. They used to be injury prone, but the moment they left the football club, they went back to a normal, career, and they were not having issues with injury. I can take this guy, Polisic, for instance, and Luftuchik. These guys were injury prone when they were in our football club. But the moment they went to AC Milan, I don't know the last time Luftuchik had an injury. And as a matter of fact, he's back into the, English national team. Polisic hasn't got any injury so far. So it baffles me that each and every season, it's not like one or two players. It has to do with a whole lot of players. That's why I'm looking at the angle that maybe the medical team need to come up with something, or even the how do we call it? The physical trainers have to also plan something for the team, and the players too have to watch their lifestyle after you go to training. How many hours do you sleep to get enough rest for the next day? Because if you're a player and you decided to like go to places during the night and having a very bad lifestyle, obviously it's going to impact you when it comes to your performance. So if there is something also going on in their life that is not helping them and they are having a lot of injuries, they have to look at it and stay fit for the season. Because I believe if we should have all our players in place and we should tackle each game one by one, I don't think we are going to perform so bad. Just imagine Cole was here. I believe would have been at the top, four. But because of injury, we are having a whole lot of problem. And I hope we bounce back and get all the key players for the subsequent matches.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And Hamid Duras says Liverpool small club. I like that one. Dante, what else would you like us to talk about to so that we can round this as soon as possible? And if you're in the live chat session, if you have any questions, to drop it there. Maybe look at a few comments because usually you see some delicious comments and acts whenever we win games, but I don't want to risk anything. Where you see such comments usually on Vincent's timeline. But Ty, up big to you and thank you for joining the conversation. AB says here, how do you feint a long range shot? What a player, Caicedo. Uh, that was a delicious, well taken shot with intent. The aim with intent. He didn't just shoot for shooting's sake. He saw the space. He saw the goalkeeper's position. He aimed at where he wanted. He aimed the ball where he wanted it to go, and he went there. And it was difficult. Even though Mamadashvili is a very, very big goalkeeper. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dante, isn't he?
Yeah, very. Yeah,
And
very,
what do you
very.
make of the goal?
Yeah, perfectly hit. Caicedo's got really good shots on him. Just his technique, because he leans back, so he's always going to get those shots that are rising up. So he's got a good technique on him. He got a bit more forward today, like I said earlier, because of the way we played. So he was able to go a little bit forward sometimes because James didn't. Gusto was sometimes would cover that as well. So Enzo would drop deep as well sometimes to get the ball as well. So he had quite a bit of cover there with James pretty much staying there most of the time. So he was able to go a little bit forward sometimes, and that paid off because, like I said, the goal. He had another really good shot that the keeper just tipped, saved it, and I think he nearly had a third one as well. So yeah, look, I like him in that role. I think he's suits that role quite well, where he can actually go a few times, go a little bit forward, and just mix it up a little bit, confuse the opposition because they were not picking him up. They did not expect him to be there.
And you can argue by design.
By design, correct, because he's not expected. You saw both times when he was there, the defenders were confused. Why is no one on him? Because he just kind of snuck forward. So the midfielders were not on him. The number 10, McAllister, Gusto was on him all game, basically. I think that's what was one of Gusto's assignments, to really man mark McAllister quite well. And I think he did that quite well when he didn't have the ball. I think he completely kept him out of the game. That was definitely a plan by Maresca, playing Gusto to try to shut down a bit of McAllister because he's that creative force in that central area. You saw Gravenberch had to be that guy and he wasn't doing it. All his passes were going left, right, but out of the touchline, not hitting targets. He's not that guy, Gravenberch. McAllister's that guy. But Gusto was on him all the time, really closing him down very quickly. That was also a plan, obviously, by Maresca when Gusto wasn't in possession. So it gave also Caicedo a bit of that freedom to go forward. So I did like that. I think that plan worked very well.
Yeah, just quickly, AB is saying he can tell I didn't play well. You be JB. You be what we call JB in nights at that time. I will. I, I don't want to boast, but I think I still can play better than you. Um, that went before the shot made Van Dijk to move and give more space. Yeah, I think good analysis, so to speak. Dante, let's talk about good observation, maybe not analysis, really. Let's talk about the second goal. Something I observed about Liverpool, and that's not the first time I'm seeing that. Um, I don't think I don't think they defend strategically. Watch how we bypassed the entirety of their midfield or the entirety of the players they had in their midfield at the time. About six or five of them, at least five. They were all lined up in a straight line. And all it took was for Lavia to turn and move the ball to the left. And
Yeah,
the truth remains that probably we knew that that's how they operate.
of course, that's how they operate. And that's why Lavia is very important in games like this. Most games, but especially games against teams like this. And let's not forget, last season when he was fit, Maresca used him in all those games that we had against opposition like this when he was fit. And he made a big difference in most of those games as well. So, yes, he's very important to break that press. Because once you break that little press there, that level teams like that have that play a bit more open, well, then you've got space in between. So uh, if you've got the runners to do that, which we had, which Garnacho I think did very well all game. I think his runs were very good. His ball control was very good. But I was impressed with his actual runs that he made, even in that goal. He made the run with Enzo, made the run, overlapping run. Cucurella then made the overlapping run. So you had three players basically working hard, that can still run at that stage of a game that we're playing all game already. And Cucurella, Gusto, etc. So yeah, look, that really helps. Obviously, that really, really helps. So teams like that against Liverpool will most of the time we'll open those teams up because of that, and we will create chances like we did today. And we've been pretty good. Even last season, when we lost a couple of them, we were very unlucky to lose those games. I think we played very well in all of those games. So, yeah, look, I think we're well set up. Maresca, if he's got the players he needs, the systems, he will set them up right. Players will do their job, especially on big nights like this night, a primetime game. They usually turn up in games like that. They really perform at the night games. Players love to play at night,
Yeah.
and we always
Yes.
we always play. I keep saying this is a very young team. They hate games. I keep going back to my experiences. I hated playing when I was young. I could not hate the more early games, kickoffs. If you look at the statistics, we've struggled in every single game we've played. I think by one or two. I think one, if I remember that we played, had a really early kickoff, like the earliest kickoff available, like a midday kickoff. We struggle in those games so bad because that early kickoff. Most of our night games, evening games, we do amazing. So it's just something that I can relate to because I did the same exactly when I played. So hated earlier, and Tony, no, was that Bamfordino was talking about that sleep and what they do, the players do after games. Do they go out? Do they do this? What is their lifestyle? That's very, very important. And for young players in London, a lot of these young guys, a lot of them, I don't think a lot of them go out. They do probably some stuff, but they stay up a little bit later than normal. Why? Because they all play PlayStation together.
I was going to say, yeah, I was going to tap in on that one, but I just let you go ahead.
Yeah, they all play PlayStation. It's well known that they do together on platforms, and they play late. And then sometimes they stay up a bit late than normal. So young players have that tendency to sleep is hard when you're younger. You're more excited, wait for the games, a bit more nerves. When you're older, sleep is not a problem. It's fine. You organize it well. But when you're young, and that's why I said always, they're going to struggle in those really early kickoff games. It was always my theory when it's kind of it worked that way because we struggled in most of those games. The young players have a hard time sleeping properly, and that is, like Bam said, that is extremely important in the top level. Sleep is very, very important. If you don't get enough, it affects you massively. You can get away with it a little bit sometimes, but not consistently. You can't get away with it. No. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's something they have to pay really close attention. I'm sure Maresca plays very close attention to that, and I'm sure they have people looking at that. But you can only control so much.
I wanted to ask this question. Would it be correct to say, I think I've said this before, you probably must have heard me say it before. The three midfielders in Enzo Fernández, Moises Caicedo, and Romeo Lavia. Romeo Lavia, you'd argue, is the best at beating the press.
Yes.
Enzo Fernandez, more of a deep line playmaker, best at dictating the pace of the game, controlling the tempo of the game, and all that. But from a defensive perspective, and a mix of, you could say, not all of those, a mix of, you could say, protecting our defensive line and also contributing offensively. Moises Caicedo, what do you think?
Yeah, look, as in, he breaks up all the play, so he a bit of a destroyer in a way. Goes hard, goes in challenges quickly, doesn't really hesitate. He makes his mind up early and goes for it. And a lot of the times he gets the ball, but he still gets foul called against him because he does it so well, actually too well sometimes. So, look, he's more of a destroyer. He can play that box-to-box role. Like today, he had a bit more of a box-to-box freedom, which I liked because I think he's got the engine to do that. He doesn't have the speed. He's not that quick, as in speed to run fast. He's got quick acceleration the first few steps to get to a tackle, but after that, he's not very quick. So that's why he's more suited sitting back a bit more, using that strength, that timing and tackling, that acceleration just quickly, very close by. But speed, that's the one thing he doesn't have. He'll get beaten by most if they get past him. A lot of the time he'll get beaten because he hasn't got that speed. So I think he's suited perfectly with the way Maresca uses him, where he's using him. But like I said, I wouldn't mind like this a little bit, having that extra cover there with James, as James was playing there, and Gusto was inverting into there playing as well. Gives him that opportunity sometimes just to balance it up and confuse the opposition to push a little bit forward. And we saw that today, a great effect. I wouldn't mind seeing that a little bit more going forward, but it will be hard, obviously. It's only when you come up against teams like this, not against low blocks.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we've covered pretty much everything, and we have no questions to answer there. And AB, maybe we should try that sometimes. Nice, always nice to have you. You know, I was joking
One-on-one
about
versus AB coach. We're going to set it up.
1v1. I'm gonna pass out. And I need teammates. I hate 1v1. We did that a lot growing up, but it's tiring because you need to dribble your opponent. Dribble is a must
Yep.
before you be able to score. So
Or
that's one of the most
you're a
difficult
defender,
type
aren't
of
you, coach?
training.
You're a defender normally.
Sorry?
You play defense mostly, don't
No,
you?
midfield and goalkeeper sometimes. I hate
I
defending.
thought you played. You told me centre back or defensive midfield, was it?
No, defensive DM, yeah.
DM. Yeah,
If
it's
you
more
play
defensive.
me, three positions I like to play: goalkeeping between the sticks, DM or number 9. If you play me on the again as a fullback or centre back, you will concede a lot of goals. I will read the game very well, but I usually don't like
They're
getting.
more the lazy positions. I understand.
Yeah, I don't like getting injured, but that's by the way. I want to say thank you to the captain of the community in Constantine Dungeon for finding the time to join me on the panel, and 22 who was also here. I want to say thank you to you, and thank you to Bamfordinho. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you all.
Can
And
I get the
AB,
balloons,
my
coach? Can I put the
bro,
balloons
he
on the
says,
screen
Coachie,
for
can you
me?
do 1v1 again? I will not. I will pass out. I'm not gonna lie. I will pass out now. I've not been since I moved to we moved to Texas. I've not been exercising properly. So I wouldn't even risk it. I've started exercising again after we unpacking a few stuff and then had the
Yeah,
time.
you'll pull something straight away.
Yeah. You know it. But thank you, AB, for Poundo a lot. I eat Poundo a lot. I like Poundo. Thank you for joining the conversation. And who else was here? And not Duran, Duras. Thank you for joining the conversation. Ty, thank you for joining the conversation. Who else was here? And Olushola Johnson, Ekubadu, Ekaro, Ekusho, thank you for joining the conversation. And Kuruma Muda, thank you for joining. And if I miss your name, apologies, I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even even when they don't believe. Still blue. Every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew. Born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew. Born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew. Born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never